Welcome everyone to our very first IBP Media launch party. I am your host, Emmanuel Kula. We got a special event going on tonight. We got some jazz music coming from my cousin, Adeliza Young. We got the Fan Cave Sports Talk with cousin Brad. We got the Culture Show with Shay. And we got the pop-up Joker Show, the Underground Lounge with his co-host, Alicia G. Welcome everyone to the show. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you lock in. We got a lot of things going today. I'm going to pull in my man, my cousin, the host of the Fan Cave. There he is, cousin Brad. What's going on, cuz? You're muted, cuz. You're muted. All right, let me unmute you. There you go.
There we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to IBP Media's coverage of the Fan Cave with cousin Brad. I am the host of the Fan Cave, cousin Brad. We've been audio for a long time. We was audio for about a year and a half. Now you see us. You see the Fan Cave. You go in there, you see the cave. I don't know if I want to walk in. I don't know. Looks a little dark in there. You creep in a little bit. You walk past a skeleton that's already been eaten by bears. You walk a little further. Then you see some markings on the wall. Then you see Olmec from Legends of the Hidden Temple. He tells you to make 2 right turns. Then you have the Fan Cave. We're here with cousin Brad. I am the host of the Fan Cave. Always my cousin Emmanuel Kulu, the man who does one-arm push-ups for breakfast. Shout out to him. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. And if you tuning in on YouTube, give us a like, give us some comments, and hit that little notification bell, because if you do, magic will happen. You will turn into a superhero. I mean, you might not get superpowers, but I mean, you're helping out an upcoming YouTube channel, so we consider you a hero. Am I right, cool?
That's a physic. That's a fact, cuz. Now, cuz, you're going to be covering sports on the Fan Cave. You've been covering sports for about 2 years now. Tell us about your journey and coming into the Fan Cave on the radio show and why we transitioned into podcasting.
Well, I've been covering sports casting for about 2 years. We started this, me and you started this back when I believe 2017. We were doing Really Though Radio, and we were doing all kinds of things, hip hop, R&B, sports. We did pretty much everything, but time passes on and we started doing this. We started doing sports. I'm an avid Bills fan since I was 3 years old. I've always loved football. I've always loved basketball. I love anything to do with sports. I'm all for it. But be sure to check us out on Facebook at the Fan Cave Sports Talk and on Instagram at the Fan Cave Sports Talk. That's what it is, bro. Yeah. We have a lot of fun. We have our segments on Don't Be No Fool. We get you updated on all the scores, all the updated news. That's what we're here to do.
So while you're talking about updated sports news, we got some NBA sports news. Why don't you tell us what's going on in the NBA playoffs? Yeah. We had a nice debate the other day about LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Lord. Those are our favorite debates, right?
You guys and your LeBron James, Michael Jordan talk. But yeah, the NBA playoffs are here and they are popping. It has been crazy so far. As a matter of fact, our Don't Be No Fool segment has to do with fans of the NBA because it's getting real out here in these streets. But we're going to keep you updated right now on all of the scores. All of the scores so far. Today, we have 3 games today. Sorry. I'm going to go to the last. I'm going to go start with game 4. The Nuggets lost to the Trailblazers 115-95. The Philadelphia 76ers beat the Washington Wizards 132-103. The Utah Jazz, they are just murdering the Grizzlies. They beat them 121-111. Then something happened in Atlanta we don't want to talk about. Something happened.
Oh, no, you're going to talk about it.
What?
Talk about it. Ain't no negating. This is a Knicks fan right here. Cousin Brad is a Knicks fan, and he like to negate when they lose.
Okay, so
talk to me.
The Atlanta Hawks got lucky and beat the New York Knicks 113-96. We wasn't really playing for real. We wanted to win it in the Garden. It is what it is. Anyway, and something happened in Los Angeles. That was very interesting. The Phoenix Suns decided to beat down on the Los Angeles Lakers. They beat them 100-92. And game 4.
Wait, hold on. Stop right there.
Oh, what was that?
That's not a beatdown, sir.
Oh,
That's
I'm
8
sorry.
points.
Yeah. You started to come back when y'all was, they stopped playing. It's all good though. Whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we're gonna go forward. The Brooklyn Nets beat down on the Boston Celtics 141-126. Kyrie decided to stomp on the Celtics logo. What?
Mm-hmm. Kyrie being
What?
Kyrie. Kyrie
Huh?
being Kyrie.
You said I'm gonna stomp on a logo? You disrespecting the logo in Boston? Oh man, that's not cool.
Spike Lee about to get on his heels, y'all.
Hey, and then the other side of LA, the B team, quote unquote, the Clippers beat the Mavericks 106-81, beat them down. Philly beat the Washington Wizards yesterday 114-122. The Utah Jazz beat on the Grizzlies again 120-113. Tonight's game starts with Brooklyn and Boston at 7:30. The Trailblazers play the Nuggets today at 9. The Lakers play the Suns at 10. Tomorrow's games are Wizards 76ers and Hawks Knicks. Of course, the Knicks are going to win that. So, starting this off, Fan Cave. We had a debate a couple days ago. Y'all probably saw the dry run. We debated LeBron or Jordan. I mean, it's kind of not a debate, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. Fans, let's be real. LeBron cannot touch Jordan. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. We have. Oh, by the way, my esteemed co-host to this side of me. No, I'm sorry. To that side, that guy right there. He is an avid LeBron fan, but loves Jordan. Loves Jordan.
Right. You know what? Let me tell the fans why.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? I love Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan made everybody want to hoop. Michael Jordan made everybody wear Hanes underwear. Michael Jordan made everybody stick their tongue out when they go to the hole. Michael Jordan revolutionized basketball. That's why he's still my GOAT. But
he made it
that
global.
being said, I don't take away from the current greats as well. And LeBron James, since Michael Jordan, has been holding down the league. So I don't take away from LeBron to big up Jordan. I don't have to do that. I love both of these two black kings. They both dominate. They both do their thing. And, they never played each other. They never played each other. It's kind of hard to even compare them because they never played each other. But what I will say is this. LeBron played a Jordan-esque player. Maybe you can tell us who that is.
I'm not going to do it.
Do it.
No.
Let's go. Come on now.
I'm not going to do it.
Come on. We're on the official launch party. You got to do it.
Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. The Jordan-esque player he's referring to. Steph Curry?
You know what? Why you got to do that?
Okay.
Don't disrespect a legend.
Okay.
Right here.
He did play against one of the Jordan, pretty much the Jordan's adopted sons in the legendary late Kobe Bryant. Shout out to him.
Exactly. And I challenge all our Fan Cave listeners out there to go look at how many times Kobe and LeBron played and go look at the wins, losses and see who won and who lost what.
Yeah, okay? Shout out to them.
So we'll see about, we'll talk about that for another time.
That's time for another day. So now, Knicks fans, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. But I have a question for everyone out there. Best comment in the comments on YouTube. We'll have a chance to debate me and Cool live on the show. But my question is to my Knicks fans, Julius Randle. I mean, the man's been balling for the Knicks every single night. He's been doing his thing. My question, his contract is coming up. Does he deserve a max deal? I say absolutely deserves a max deal. Absolutely. I understand you want to build super teams and you want to build players around. You want to bring in free agents and you want to bring in this guy and bring in that guy. But this guy, Julius Randle, has been bringing the pain every night for New York. He's been the brightest spot of the New York Knicks this entire season. He definitely deserves a max deal. Kula, what you think?
I absolutely agree. Once out of a million times, I'm going to agree with you, cuz Julius Randle has been playing like a savage this season. Playoffs, I think the playoffs was a bit too big for him. That's a young team. That's a young team. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to take some time. Barrett can't go to his right hand.
Yeah.
Neither can Julius Randle. You know, this is something that they need to work on throughout the offseason. But I tell you what, these guys, you know, they're young. They may be one player away. And I think they'll be ready.
Okay, I respect that. And shout out to D Rose. Shout out to Derrick Rose.
Shout out to Rose,
You talk
resurrected his
about a
career.
rejuvenated player. Derrick Rose's story was so depressing. From his heavy start, he came into the league, won MVP, brought the Bulls back. Everything was going well for him. Excuse me. And then, he had that catastrophic injury. And, he has come back for the Knicks. He started out this season off the bench. Now he's coming back on one most improved player. I got to give a shout out to D Rose on this one, man. Shout out to him, definitely.
You know what? D Rose, when he had that MVP season, people forget that, Cousin Brad.
They do forget
people forget that D Rose, when he came into the league, I mean, this dude was dunking on folks. I mean, just a speed demon on the court. And then those injuries happen year after year after year.
Yeah.
This guy is the definition of resilience,
perseverance.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Kept coming back, got switched to so many different teams, and he even played with LeBron in Cleveland for a little bit.
Yep.
Man, and this guy, the past 2 years, he's really turned it back on. He turned the hands of time, man. So shout out to D Rose, man.
Shout out to D Rose, definitely for winning, especially for winning most improved player. I mean, the man has just been balling out for the Knicks, so definitely shout out to him. But Kulu, we're gonna take it over to the West. Yo Lakers.
West side.
Yo Lakers.
Best side.
LeBron, AD, the rest of the Lakers. I mean, we get it. They're the champs. They're the undisputed champs. They won it all in the bubble last year. They did their thing. My question is, what is Phoenix doing and what are the Lakers not doing?
The Lakers are not scoring well enough. They're not taking efficient shots. Number two, why was Montrezl Harrell not in the game?
Oh boy, you love Trez.
I love Trez. Trez gives you that edge, man. You need Trez in the game. That's number two. We barely seen McLemore. KCP was hurt. You need some shooting. So you need McLemore out there. And you know who I don't want to see out there. I don't want to see Andre Drummond on the floor.
I mean,
no.
I'm just saying.
No.
You might see him a little more. AD, you don't know what AD is going to do. We don't know if he's out. We don't know what's going on with him. I
don't have a problem with him playing now that AD's gone. But when AD's on the floor, you need to have Caruso, Wes Matthews, KCP. You need to surround LeBron and AD with shooters, so the lane is not clogged up.
So okay, so now bringing that to the point here, bringing that to the table here. LA, let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. They are the world champions. They are the defending NBA champions. But let's be real. Y'all having trouble with Phoenix. Now, I am not taking anything away from Phoenix. People forget, Phoenix was undefeated in the bubble last year. They didn't make the playoffs. They had a lot of injuries. But this season, oh my God, Devin Booker has grown up. Chris Paul has led that team. They are number 2 in the West right now. And let's be real, I don't know if they're going to win this series, but they are giving y'all everything y'all can handle right now.
Yeah.
Are you guys the second best team in the West?
Okay. If you're talking about the state that we're in right now with injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might be the third best team right now. Because we're not healthy. Right. And AD being a piece of glass, that's AD, man. Come on, man. Every time AD fall, I get worried.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
this is not the AD from last year. This is not the AD from last year.
It's not. And that's what's really making me worry, bro. But I'm going to still say with LeBron, you can't count him out. I still think they beat Phoenix. And let's not get this twisted. Phoenix had the best record.
I'm not taking
second best record in the league right now. So let's not do that.
I'm not taking away anything from Phoenix. I think Phoenix, aside from Utah, because everybody sleeps on Utah because it's Utah. But aside from Utah, Phoenix is the best team in the NBA. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? Be like, what are you tripping, bro? Milwaukee just swept their team, and Philly. What about Philly? Y'all forgot. Embiid just went down with an injury. That just happened. Y'all forgot about that.
Yep.
And Brooklyn, yeah, they dominating their team right now. They playing the weak team that they playing right now. So it is what it is. They dominating that game.
Shout out to Boston. Shout out to 2.
Come on, man. I mean, I mean, you know what? Let's go with your boy. Your boy Jason Tatum dropped 50 the other night. Shout out to him. It wasn't enough, but we can make Tatum a New York Knick. That'll be all good. We be all good with that. We make Tatum.
That ain't gonna happen.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. But I think Phoenix is the second best team in the NBA right now. I'm not saying the West. I'm saying the NBA. They are the second best team behind Utah. I said it on the Fan Cave on our launch party today. You heard me say it right then and there. Boom.
Yeah. I'm kind of scared of Utah, man. I'm scared of Utah, man. I ain't gonna front. I'm scared of Utah. I'm gonna agree with you on that one. They're a very sound team, and they really don't have any bad injuries, and holding them back at this point. So, I mean, the Nuggets, they're held back by injury because they don't have what's my man's name, Murray. They don't have Murray. Murray's out for the season. But I say Utah. Utah looking like that team to beat. But don't sleep on the Mavericks. I'm not sleeping on the Mavericks. I'm not sleeping on Luka. Luka is doing the best he can right now. I think the Clippers got their number, though. I think the Clippers are going to get out of the first round. When they're going to make it to the next round. But Utah, they are young. They are hungry. They play defense, and they play together. So Utah is the most dangerous team in the game right now. You don't see a lot of superstars on Utah right now. You don't see a lot of the big three or anything like that. They all play together. They all play their role. They play defense, and they play together. So Utah is the most dangerous team right now. Shout out to them. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. Switching
gears early. We are going on the gridiron, the NFL. Man. It has been some trade talk out of Buffalo, New York. We all love the Bills on this channel. Shout out to Butch Roll. Butch Roll, if you're watching right now, it's right there. He signed it.
Shout out to Butch.
Butch, we love you, man. Shout out to you. But it's been some trade talk. It's been a lot of talk in Buffalo right now. They edited. I shouldn't say edited. They modified Stephon Diggs' contract to make up the bulk of it for pretty much turn it and take his signing bonus and put it into his yearly salary. Or the other way around, I believe. I think they turned his yearly salary into a signing bonus to free up some cap space.
Yeah.
And they're looking to trade for Zach Ertz. And I posted this on the Fan Cave earlier today. I said it would be interesting. I didn't say it was a good move. I didn't say it was a bad move. I said it would be interesting. We got a young tight end in Dawson Knox. You got the tight end that we had as well. I think we let him go. Did we let Croft go? We didn't.
I think Croft is still with us.
Okay, we didn't let him go. Okay, so we have them. Bringing in Zach Ertz. I think that would be a good move.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good move. And now I know there was a lot of talk on the Fan Cave, the pre-show, the dry run. Talk about Julio Jones. Julio ain't coming to Buffalo. We got team chemistry. Julio is a solid number one. I am taking nothing away from Julio Jones, but we don't need Julio. We don't need Julio.
No,
we're good.
We need a tight end. But I don't know if Zach Ertz is the answer though.
I think he is.
Yeah, I think he might be a little bit past his prime. I think he might be, man.
I don't think so. I mean, last year, let's be honest. Last year in Philly, that quarterback situation was a joke. They didn't know if they were going to go with Carson Wentz or they're going to go with Jalen Hurts. Then, okay, we're going to go with Carson Wentz. Nah, we'll go with Jalen Hurts. We'll go there. No,
that was crazy.
Yeah, they didn't know what they were going to do. That offense was a joke. Now they have Jalen Hurts. We'll see what happens with him. They done traded Carson away to Indy. I don't know what's going on. But guy I want to talk about, Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers. Green Bay Packers. I don't know. Green Bay made a solid statement, said we are quote unquote not trading Aaron Rodgers anywhere to be seen to Aaron Rodgers to be traded. Cooley, what you think about that, man?
Smart move by Green Bay. You don't trade your Hall of Fame quarterback like that.
That's a fact.
You're not going to get anything that is going to be close to him. Not even close.
That's another fact.
And Jordan Love is not ready to step in and be a starter right now.
That's a fact too.
I think he got another year to really learn. And I'm sure Green Bay is watching Jordan Love closely, and they can make those, they can understand what's really happening behind the scenes.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers can't be mad. He cannot be mad about them drafting Jordan Love because he was the exact same product when Brett Favre was with Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
First round pick.
And he sat, he waited his turn.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got his turn, we see what he's turned out to be to this day.
Exactly. And he won MVP last year. You don't just trade away your MVP. Sorry, Green Bay. You don't trade away your MVP. You're stuck with him. But my question is, will he play for Green Bay? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to hold out.
That remains to be seen. I just don't. I think with the class guy that he is, I don't see him doing that. I don't see him doing it.
I don't know. I would hope you're right in that situation. I mean, I don't see Aaron Rodgers playing for another team. I get it. Brady went down south, went to Tampa Bay, won a Super Bowl. They gave him pretty much everything. Tom, whatever you want, whatever you need, we'll get it for you as long as we win a championship. And he held up his end of the bargain. They held up their end of the bargain. Now, there was a lot of receivers in this draft. There was a lot of receivers in last year's draft. They got Devontae Adams. Shout out to him. Dude was my fantasy player. Dude is a straight up mauler, but you got to get somebody on the other side of him. You got to get somebody on the other side of him to help Rodgers out, man. I know he won the MVP, but you got to get somebody on the other side of him for real.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Green Bay. Another breaking news. This was just announced today. Jake Paul. If you don't know, this is the YouTuber. Our fellow YouTuber, Jake Paul, will be taking on Tyron Woodley August 28th. Now, if y'all probably already know this, and if you don't know, I don't know how you don't know, but his older brother, Logan Paul, will be taking on Floyd Mayweather this Sunday. And, let's just be real. Okay, let's be real. He has no chance against Floyd Mayweather, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So he will be his younger brother Jake, the one who just fought an MMA fighter.
I hope Dog is commentating.
We really have no reason to buy this. I'm not trying to take away their money, but let's be real. Logan Paul, he fought an MMA fighter before. It went to a split decision, so technically he doesn't have a win. I watched the Showtime thing. They do the 24/7, the Showtime thing. I get it. Floyd's older, and Logan Paul has about 2 inches on him. Floyd Mayweather is the best boxer of this generation. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Floyd going, and after Jake Paul did what he did, snatching his hat.
Oh, yeah.
You already know what he about to do to his brother.
Exactly.
He about to put that pain on him.
Exactly.
Put them paws on him, as Joker say.
Exactly. Now, before we get up out of here, because we did the first round, part of the segment today with the Fan Cave. We got our patent pending segment that we did every week on the Fan Cave. If you were there, you know what's about to come. Kulu, do you have the audio ready and queued up?
I do not, but it is the Don't Be No Fool segment by our Uncle Bobby. Our Uncle Bobby used to tell us every time we about to do something. What he used to say, cuz?
He said, quote unquote, don't be no fool. That's all we need to hear. That's all we needed to hear. And whatever it was, we knew we shouldn't be doing it. And today's Don't Be No Fool segment is going to go to these fans of NBA games. Have y'all lost your mind? What is going on this week? You know what? Go ahead. I'll save it. Go ahead. Go.
I might have to justify the Boston one. I might have to justify the Boston one. Okay. What Kyrie did was utter disrespect for a team he played for.
Bruh.
For a team that he got millions from.
I'm sorry.
For a team that he got millions from and
Right.
absolutely really did nothing for that team at all.
Okay.
It caused debacles all over the place, caused disruption all over the place. So, I mean, that was utter disrespect. It doesn't call for a fan throwing a bottle at him. But I can see how fans could lose their cool on that one.
Okay. You lost your cool. I get that. Now, quote unquote, what you just said, Kyrie played for the Celtics, got a lot of money from Boston, but let's keep it all the way 100 like we do on IPP Media and the Fan Cave. If this was not the Boston Garden and this was where Kyrie from? Where Kyrie from? I don't know where Kyrie from. Where he from?
I don't know where Kyrie's from.
I don't know where Kyrie from. If this was the hood, if we was at the playground, if this was NBA 2K, you ain't throwing a bottle at Kyrie Irving. Because, I mean, 9 times out of 10, Kyrie's still going to have to defend himself, and I got my money on Kyrie on that one. But we ain't even going to talk about that one. That one, it is what it is. I'm talking about this fan who decided, number one, to throw a bucket of popcorn on Russell Westbrook after this man came off of the court with an injury. Fans, have y'all forgotten how to act at public sporting events? Have y'all lost your mind? Have you forgot it? Then it gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse. Then Madison Square Garden, my Knicks fans, my fellow New York Knicks fans, I get it. I get the frustration. I've been
tired.
with you.
I'm tired of y'all.
I get the frustration. We ain't been to the playoffs in a decade. The last time we were in the playoffs, we got swept in the first round. I get it. I understand the frustration. We have finally got a good New York Knicks team. We got a playmaker. We got a veteran in D Rose. We got a head coach that finally gets it. I understand. The frustration is gone. I get it. But spitting at Trae Young, a young man who has really blossomed this season. He's really put that Hawks team on his back. So shout out to him. But spitting at Trae Young, that's just uncalled for. My Knicks fans, I understand the frustration. I get it. I was pumped. I was right there with you. But to be spitting at Trae Young, and mind you, it didn't get to Trae Young. You spit at him. The spit went over the shoulder of 50 Cent, who was sitting next to Sting in the audience. Had you would have misspit and hit 50 Cent, you probably would have lost your life. I'm going to be real. You don't spit anywhere at sporting events, but you spit over 50 Cent's left shoulder, nearly hitting Trae Young. That's crazy. And, we got the last one. Oh, boy. This one right here. This fool right here. Oh, my God. So, like I said, it's don't be no fool. We got the one guy in Boston. I'm sorry. Yeah, in Boston, throwing a bottle at Kyrie Irving. But this fan in D.C. thought it was a good idea to try to run on the court. At Joel Embiid. Kulu. Tell me. I get it. The pandemic was crazy for everyone involved. There was no fans out of there. Have we just forgotten as fans that just because you pay your money to get to a game, and I get it, them tickets ain't cheap. I get it. Them tickets are not cheap at all. And these are courtside seats. Just because you paid your money does not give you the right to try to run on the court. Luckily, security got him. He was arrested. But have these fans just lost their mind?
Yes, they have. They've been sitting down for too long. These are season ticket holders who've been sitting down for too long. And they lost their cool. Now, the Nick one, utterly disgusting. That's up. Your fans. You got to talk to them. You got to talk to them on that one because that is utterly disgusting. Spitting on someone, I don't care who you spit on. That's a recipe to get your behind whooped. I don't care who you are.
Right. During a pandemic.
And I would not have blamed Trae Young if it would have got on him for going in that stance and pulling around our chest. I wouldn't have blamed him. And I'm not for violence, but at the end of the day, that is utter disrespect.
Straight like that.
Utter disrespect.
Knicks fans, you got to do better. Matter of fact, all fans, the fan that got arrested in Philly, the fan that decided to run on the court in DC, to the fan who threw a bottle at Kyrie Irving, and to the fan who decided it was a good idea to spit at Trae Young. To quote my dear old Uncle Bobby, I'm going to just say the 3 words. Don't be no fool. Don't be no fool.
That's your Knicks fans, cuz you got to get your Knicks fans.
Hey, I don't know. Maybe he was from maybe he was from Brooklyn. He decided to sneak in and make it look bad. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, so you gonna blame Kyrie in them then?
I said
you gonna blame Kyrie in them?
He might have been from Brooklyn. He might have got tickets to the Nets game and said, "Oh, I'll just go to the Garden and act a fool." I don't know. It is what it is. Maybe that's the reason why we lost. Whatever.
Cut it out. Y'all lost because y'all got beat.
Whatever. We here on the Fan Cave.
Y'all wasn't ready yet.
Now we have some great things coming up in our intermission coming up. We have our cousin Adelaja Young. I mean, he gonna break it down. You know, when the ladies watching right now, you know, if you desire romance, you know, it's getting when you get to that point in the day where it's like, we want to maybe turn it down a little bit. Set the scene if you desire romance. My man's on the saxophone just for the ladies out here. The ladies watching the Fan Cave. If you're a lady and you watching the Fan Cave, this is for you. Shout out to my cousin. We'll be back on the Fan Cave here every Tuesday, 6:30 Eastern. It's gonna be me and my cousin Emmanuel Kulu. Just sorry, I had to put the lights back on. But it's going to be me and Emmanuel Kulu every Tuesday. Kulu might not be here, but we're going to have guests. We're going to have fun every week.
Fan Cave panel. Shout out to the Fan Cave panel.
Absolutely. We have to shout out to them boys too. Kyle, Swayze, D. Y'all seen them on the dry one. Every week we're going to have something new for you guys. Welcome to IBP Media. Here we go, baby.
We're going to have a little fun in the studio today. Let's start with the great Michael Jackson. How you doing? This is Elijah Young, back with another one of the greats, Luther Vandross. The house is not a home. On behalf of IBP Media Group.
Ooh, welcome back to the IBP Media Launch Party. That was Elijah Young, my cousin, in the building. We're going to switch gears. We just did the fan cave with Cousin Brad. Cousin Brad will be covering all sports all the time on the fan cave every Tuesday, 6:30 Eastern time. Everything we do is on Eastern time. We're going to have a breaking news segment from our sister, Samantha Jonas Rongo is going to show us what's happening in the world right now as we speak.
I'm Samantha Jonas Rongo, and this is IBP Media Breaking News. Memorial Day 2021 marks the 100th anniversary of the 1921 destruction of Black Wall Street in what is known as the Tulsa Race Massacre. For 2 days, a thriving African-American neighborhood of Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was burned to the ground, and African-Americans were killed, injured, and left homeless by a white mob in one of the deadliest episodes of racial violence in U.S. history. An estimated 300 African Americans were killed, over 1,000 injured, and over 1,000 Black-owned businesses were burned to ruins, equaling over $1 million in damage. There is still an ongoing mass grave search to get a more accurate body count. It is believed that this thriving African American community was not only attacked by a mob of white men, but also by multiple planes reported flying above and releasing grenades and bombs. Before the massacre, Greenwood was an independent and thriving Black community in the early 20th century, spanning a 35-block business district in downtown Tulsa. It was an area with its money recirculating within the community. Residents supported other local Black-owned businesses, but they also couldn't spend anywhere else due to the racism, oppression, and segregation of that era. In that time, Greenwood was considered the richest African American neighborhoods in North America. On May 30th, 1921, that all changed after a 19-year-old young Black man named Dick Rowland used an elevator in a downtown Tulsa building to get to a colored restroom. The elevator operator was Sarah Page, a 17-year-old white girl who screamed as Rowland supposedly ran out of the elevator when it reached the first floor. A clerk on duty then reported the incident to police, and Dick Rowland was later arrested. He was accused of sexually assaulting Sarah Page. An angry white mob went to the courthouse and demanded that the sheriff hand over Rowland, but the sheriff refused. As word of a possible lynching spread, a group of around 75 armed Black men, including World War II veterans, went to the courthouse to offer help guarding Rowland, and were met by a mob of over 1,000 white angry men. After clashes between the groups, the Black men retreated to Greenwood. The mob then followed, attacked its residents, and businesses, forcing the Black men, women, and children of the thriving community to either fight, hide, or flee. After the massacre, insurance companies then refused to pay damages to the victims, citing riot clauses. No one was ever prosecuted or punished for the attack, leaving the residents of Greenwood without justice or help to rebuild. Hours after destruction, police then released Dick Rowland uncharged, after they concluded that he had in fact only accidentally tripped on the foot of Sarah Page. Last week, White House officials said President Joe Biden will travel to Tulsa to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the massacre on Tuesday, June 1st. Hopefully, this drastic event in history will become part of the history curriculum in schools around the nation, as many Americans, including many African Americans, are still unaware of this historical event, an event that is only one of many massacres of African American history. I'm Samantha Jonas-Rango, and thank you for watching IBP Media.
Everyone, the Tulsa Massacre, one of the most documented, but most unknown things that happened in Black history right here in America. Thank you, Samantha, for bringing that to our attention. Coming up next in the next 30 seconds, we got the Underground Lounge with the Joker. And Joker will bring in his co-host around 7 p.m., but Joker's going to come in a little bit early beforehand, and we'll be right back after this 30 seconds. Welcome back, everybody, to IBP Media's official launch party. We got my man, my ace, my dog, who's been with me since we had the as my manager, as a matter of fact, when I was in the hip hop industry, as nobody else that I can have on the show as the host of the Underground Lounge show, where you will be taking care of all musicians all over the entire world. Mostly hip hop is the most dominated form of music throughout the world right now. Joker, talk to me, brother.
No doubt. Once we here right now, man, doing what we do, man. It's the Joker right here. Is the main host of the Underground Lounge, and also my co-host Alicia G, which will be here later on. But yeah, definitely, man. We here to keep it rocking, keep doing what it do. Let's first open up with that theme music from Carlito Black. You know, it's my theme music. I gotta have my theme music in full effect right now. You know what I mean? So I gotta put that in.
Will begin now.
The game changed, I'm here to restore order. New school and old school, I'm here to connect the border. Real
this is the official launch party right now, y'all, right here on IBP Media. Let's go. Kulu is in the building.
Hey.
Shay is in the building.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Cuzzo Brad is in the building. The original family of Blog Talk Radio. Now we here.
Said bring it to the safer. Gucci rap, taking the war. Grab the fire. Rock him, I ain't no joke. Was on the lineup. Jada and Nate Dogg Link and brought you times up.
Yeah.
Jada and Nate Dogg Link and brought you times up.
Sure did.
Jada and Nate Dogg Link and brought you times up. Nas in my speakers, I'm vibing out to Illmatic. Got myself a gun at a time, a dog is still matic. Jay-Z, 50 years old, and he's still snapping.
Right.
DMX, flush on my flesh, that's some real
Rest
rapping. B.I.G. was dropping some ill classic student of the game. Because of them, I'm skilled at it. Back to the OGs that put in work and paid the way. BBC was belted in the air, Pop took his fame. Bone dead, harmony and flow, and then they changed the game. Buster, get in that mode, flipping some spare flames. Jazz over and twist the flow is fast, they in a different lane. Only reason that the block is high because of Lil Wayne. Eminem wordplay will put you in a different place. My deep have you thinking the way you can get away. Missy is the reason that the people can't stand the rain. Missy is the reason that the people can't stand the rain.
Yeah. We classic with it, man.
Missy is the reason that the people can't stand the rain.
Underground Lounge, man. I'm lounging, man. You see I'm chilling. You know what I mean? You see I'm doing it with it do. Chilling right, my man Kulu in the building. You know what I mean?
Sexy sounds and top music. Live in the mix.
Yeah. You know, we back and full of that. That was Carlito Black, man. That's my theme music.
Shout out to Carlito Black. Shout out to him.
Yeah, we got the review show with him too this week too.
Ah.
Yeah, that album review, man. That album is crazy.
Yeah, tell him when that review is.
That's on the 12th, right here live on IBP, live on Underground Lounge, all across the platforms, man. We're gonna review his whole album and get an opportunity for the fans to also vote. You know, 1 out of 5 flames. You know what I mean? Each song, each track. You know what I mean? And we finna have fun with that album, man. And I listened to it a couple times, man. That joint is definitely solid. I'm not gonna give you my score right now, what I think about it, but live on the 12th, y'all tune in and make it do what it do. You know what I mean?
Facts.
No doubt. My man, Kulu, man. You know you're a hip hop historian.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And you definitely
And you know what's crazy? A lot of people don't know, bro. They don't know that I started in hip hop. 15 years in the hip hop industry. You was my manager for 3 of those years.
Yeah.
And I never lost my love for the hip hop industry. And I just kind of feel like music ain't where it's at right now. And that's why it was such a must to have you on IBP Media to bring that underground, real hip hop street feel back to the industry and what the industry really needs.
Oh yeah, I had to definitely bring the knowledge. I like I told you about the little debate off air on one of the group pages when somebody was having a debate on, what's the difference between MC or EMCEE.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And
you go look up Rakim on that one.
And I mean, I'm telling you, he spelled it out. That's representing the culture when you spell it out. But you got these people that come on these groups, no disrespect, but come in and trying to break down the culture to what it's not going to be.
Right.
Because of the change of rap music. Because rap music, hip hop is their cousins, but they still different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Rap came out of the hip hop culture. You know what I mean? Which stands for Rhythm African Poetry. Stands for. So it's like, we still together. They still family, but it's still different. You know what I'm saying? Like my man Harris once said, what he say? Hip hop is what you live. Rap is what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. And we live hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
We talk hip hop. You know what I mean? I'm hip hop right now. Moving my head, that's hip hop. How I'm moving my arm, it's hip hop.
Hey.
How I grab the mic, how I grab this computer, it's hip hop. Everything I do is hip hop. The way you sitting right now, Kulu, is hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See how you bob your head? That's hip hop.
Oh yeah.
Oh you know what I'm saying?
You know how it is. Can't nobody do it like we do it.
It's a natural. You can't fake hip hop. You can't. You can't come in and fake hip hop. You could tell a fake hip hop head when you see one.
That's one thing we wanted to bring out to the fans today is top fives.
Oh yeah,
top five artists of all time. Let's start with the artists, and I'm gonna let you go. This is your show. What's your top 5 artists? And I'm gonna ask you some questions on some of them, bro. So go ahead.
Is it you talking about artists of all time?
Hip hop artists of all time.
Or hip hop artists of all time.
Hip hop artists, yeah.
Yeah, my top 5, it changes up, depends what we going with it, but my top 5 is going to be number 1 is going to be Rakim. You know what I mean? And he's doing a biopic right now. I can't wait till that drop next year. Then I got to go with number 2 on my list. I got to go with Biggie. You know what I mean? I go with Biggie. Then I got to go with Pac. On my 3. My last 2 is brand new. You know what I mean? My last 2 is brand new.
Oh no.
I had to you know what I mean? It changes. That number 5 changes a lot. You know what I'm saying? But my new on my list is Conway.
Okay.
Yeah,
Conway.
Yeah, Conway been awesome. Been killing it these past 3 years, man, and he came out with over 17 projects in 3 years.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Every one of them projects. Buffalo Zone. He's been killing the game, and he was just at the Versus too, and even Swiss and all them cats and all them was showing him love. Like, yo, you definitely that one. Yeah, you definitely that one right now. And then my 5th one it changes up, man. It could be Jadakiss, it could be Busta, it could be LL Cool J. My fifth one changes up. You know, it could, my fifth one be peeking in now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
got a solid 4 though.
yeah. You got a solid 4. Mine gonna be a little more modern.
Yeah.
And maybe a little controversial. But number I'm gonna go from number 5 to number 1.
Okay.
Number 5, I'm gonna give it to Snoop.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Number 5, I'm gonna give it to Snoop because I came up in the 90s, and in the 90s, Snoop was the biggest rapper. I think a lot of people forget that, how huge Snoop Dogg was in 1992, 1993, 1994,
He broke the walls down in 92, 93. I remember that when I was in high school.
Yeah. So I think people forget that. And Snoop Dogg has stood the test of time. When I talk about when you ask me as a hip hop historian, when you ask me about top 5 rappers of all time, I'm talking about how these guys changed the game. You know what I'm saying? And we know about Snoop Dogg with the weed smoking and all of that stuff, and in public, all of that. You know, he took the Chronic to a whole nother level. But also just stood the test of time. You know, Snoop Dogg's still around. He's still around, and there's not too many places on the earth that you can go where people don't know who he is or have heard a song that he's done. So his impact on hip hop definitely deserves to be in the top 5. Number 5, I'm gonna go with LL. I'm gonna go with LL as number 4. Snoop is number 5. LL's number 4.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with LL. 1983 came on the scene. You know, brought the pretty boy R&B hip hop to he created the R&B hip hop chart.
Oh man,
he created it. You know what I'm saying?
He changed the game to put things into radio.
Yeah. Yep. He really was the guy that a lot of guys today, all these guys who making R&B hip hop songs, they got it from Cool J.
Yeah,
they got it from Cool J. You know what I'm saying? Flexing the Pumas. You know what I mean? The big bulky gold chains. You know what I'm saying?
Kango hats and all that.
Kango hats. Yeah, LL.
And LL also has a biopic getting filmed as we speak right now too. So,
come on, man.
James Todd Smith story.
Yeah, man. James Todd Smith definitely. He don't get a lot of credit. And let's not also get this mixed up. LL was a battle rapper too.
But he was crushing them.
LL was a battle rapper too. You know, and people forget that because he make a lot of songs like "Hey Lover" and you know what I mean, them lady love songs, and you know. But I think people forget LL was, you know, he wasn't no sucker in the rap. Battle.
As far as his battling, man, only person that really made him work was Mo D. I don't think nobody else really made him work like that, like Mo D did.
I think Cannabis made him work. Cannabis made him.
Yeah, he made him work a little bit.
He had to go back in the lab on that one.
Like Mo D, because him and Mo D was behind the scenes with it too. They didn't even take it. They didn't really just go to the tracks. They did a lot of underground stuff too. That was dissing too and battling too. You know, I think Cannabis more on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
That was personal.
Yeah, that was personal. That was definitely personal.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mo D wanted his head. The Wild Wild West.
You know what I'm saying?
How You Like Me Now? That was the joint where he was dissing Cool J.
Yeah,
and you know what? He had some bars on that joint. I ain't gonna front. Mo D went hard. Shout out to Kumo D.
Yeah.
You know, LL went at Ice-T. He went at Cannabis. You know, he even went at MC Hammer. You know, and you know what they say about MC Hammer? MC Hammer was gangster.
And you know, and he went at Jay-Z too, but he never replied on Jay-Z's last reply. But it wasn't worth it because really Jay-Z saying something, but he wasn't saying something to make him want to come back though. He was like,
right.
Come on, man. You know. Right. You know, he was saying some things in the song that was facts though. When he said your single was 99 cents, mine was $4. That was facts.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
My third is going to be Jay.
Okay.
My third is going to be Jay.
Yeah. I can see that. Sean Carter.
You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna say my third gonna be Nas. Nas gonna be my number 3. And the reason why Nas gonna be my number 3 because if it's a toss up between Nas and Rakim to me, But if I'm gonna look at the accomplishments, who's done more for the hip hop industry, who had better songs, I'm gonna say Nas did that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was saying in the beginning of what we was talking about as far as top 5. Depends what we putting everything at. If we putting that on a personal level as an artist, that was my top 5. If I go by who the accomplishments, my top 5 change.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna definitely say Nas, best street lyricist of his time. You know, classic albums. It Was Written, Stillmatic, Illmatic, Godson. I mean, lyrical genius.
He got his first Grammy, you know.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, what hasn't the Ether? Do we need to talk about Ether? You know what I'm saying? You know, one of the greatest battle rap songs of all time.
Best diss track since No Vaseline.
Yeah, definitely. That's a top 3 diss record of all time.
Yeah.
Ether. So, you know, Nas definitely in my top 5. Number 2, I'm gonna go Jay. I'm gonna throw Jay at number 2.
Okay.
I know some people gonna be like, we'll get to why. Jay is number 2. He's the most successful hip hop artist. He is the true example of grind, starting from Hawaii Sophie fame in 1988 all the way to where he is today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jay-Z mastered, he understood that, you know, I might not be better than Pac today. I might not be better than Big in 95. I might not be better than Snoop in 93. Right. But in the long run, you know what I'm saying? I'm a outlast everybody. And, you know, Jay-Z was never afraid to collaborate with anyone. I mean, you talking about from Bun B to Eminem to he even featured with Nas after they had beef. I mean, to writing for Dre, Still Dre, to, you know, his, and then let's not forget his classic albums, Reasonable Doubt, Hard Knock Life, Blueprint, you know, American Gangster. I mean,
Flow.
Yeah, like what hasn't this man done? Accomplishment wise, he's the greatest of all time.
Watch the Throne with Kanye.
Yeah, and he's a heck of a lyricist too. Mm-hmm. Like, we can't undermine Jay as a lyricist. He was a great MC. He was I would say, throughout the 90s into the early 2000s, mid 2000s, he was always in the top 3 lyricists in the game.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say he was the best all the time,
right?
But I'm gonna say he was definitely always in the top 3. And my last, I'm gonna see, y'all know me, man. Y'all know I'm gonna go with Tupac Shakur as the greatest of all time. I mean, Tupac, obviously, I don't think Tupac was. People say Tupac wasn't lyrical. It depends on what you think lyrical is. Mm-hmm. You know, I think lyrical is how you touch a person. I think Tupac did that.
He was influenced. He was the most influenced rapper of all time.
Yeah. And he did not just that. Tupac was a walking social media. You know what I'm saying? He really, at a time in the early 90s, MTVs and these news outlets really wasn't interviewing a lot of hip hop artists like that.
Nah.
But this guy got countless interviews.
Yes, he did.
I mean, countless. And if you think about Tupac's run, his run was from 1991 to 1996. That's 5 years. That's 5 years this guy was alive, and he produced 6 movies. He produced 6 albums. I'm gonna say 3 of the albums is classic: All Eyes on Me, Me Against the World, and Machiavelli.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 3 of the movies was classic. I'm gonna say Juice, Poetic Justice, and I'm gonna go Above the Rim. Them 3 was classic. Now, when you talk about the hip hop culture, Tupac embodied all the elements of the hip hop culture. Poetry, you know what I mean? Image, you know what I'm saying? He embodied the streets. He embodied the revolution. He embodied everything, interviews, like we just mentioned, fashion.
Yes, he did.
Artwork, and not to mention, Tupac is the most quoted rapper of all time.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
So to me, I know fans out there gonna be like, why is Notorious Big not in there? And this is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make a bold statement about Notorious Big.
Okay.
The Notorious Big was the best rapper ever. So people gonna say, why he wasn't in the top 5? Well, Nobody can rap like Big. Nobody can rap like Big. The way he put words together, rhymes together lyrically, there's nobody on the planet that can rap with him.
Right.
Period.
Right.
But because his career was so short-lived, it's hard to put him over my top 5 that I just mentioned. It's hard. It's really hard to do because I can't say that there's rappers that there's rappers who tried to rap like Big. I can't say that. I can say that there's rappers who try to do what Snoop did. Look at Wiz Khalifa. I can say there's rappers that did what Pac did, and there's countless rappers who did what Pac did.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody after any rapper taking off their shirt and flexing got it from LL, whether they knew it or not.
Yeah.
You know, and Nas, I mean, come on, lyrically, there are so many dudes who he's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Yes,
everybody either love or respect Nas. So, not to say that Biggie wasn't that dude. Biggie would probably be at number 6 if I was doing the top 10. But it's hard to put him in there with those top 5 guys because everywhere you go, people know who those guys are.
And it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And also it depends too on how different MCs been in the era, even in the old school era, who influenced you in your life. I mean, on certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Lisa Gina built in.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's going on, Alicia G? Alicia G, we just named our top 5 hip-hop artists of all time. Welcome to the IBP media team, first and foremost.
Yes, indeed.
We can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. Okay. So what would be your top 5? I gave mine. Mine was starting from 5 to 1. Mine was Snoop, LL Cool J, Nas, Jay-Z, and then Pac. Joker, what was yours?
Yeah, mine was Rakim. What was it? I said Rakim. I said Biggie. I said Pac, Conway, and then I said my number 5 to be anything from Jada Kids to, you know, it could mix up. My 5 changes up. So yeah, no doubt.
Top 5. Number 1, I'm gonna say Eminem. Number 2, Notorious. 3, Kanye. 4, Lil Wayne, and 5, Drake.
That's a good one.
I'll add Nick Minaj there for the females.
That's a good 5.
It's a good 5. Yeah, I mean that's a current 5.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you that, Alicia. I'm gonna give you
that. I was gonna bring that up too. That what is your top 5 from the 2000 to 2020? What's your top 5?
Okay. Jay number 1. Jay's number 1.
Okay.
50's number 2.
Oh, good one.
50's number 2. Wayne is number 3.
You put Wayne, you put 50 over Wayne. That's impressive.
Yeah, man. That G Unit wave was crazy, man. The G Unit wave was banging. That G Unit wave was crazy.
But Wayne took the baton and just took it for 5 years straight, though.
He did. I mean, you could. That's interchangeable, but I'm still going with 50. I'm going with 50 because I feel like if you really think about Get Rich or Die Trying, that was one of the best albums ever. Every track,
5 albums of all times. Yeah,
definitely. So I'm gonna give him the edge on that one. So I'm at Wayne. So I'm gonna have to go with.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Give me Cameron. Give me Cam.
Okay.
I feel like Cam had a mean run. Cam
you know what?
He had a mean run.
That Dipset era was something.
Dipset had a run.
I forgot about that.
Dipset had a run. Like we was in the club. We was in the club. We knew every Dipset. Shout out to everybody, the goons who was in the club with us, the whole Teflon family. It was either 50, Wayne, or it was Cam. It was them 3 in constant rotation, running the clubs.
But the mixtape game was crazy with all 3 of them too.
Oh, you see what I'm saying? So Cam got to be up there. And then last, This one is a toss-up between Gucci and Rose.
Ooh.
Gucci and Rose.
Gucci, Rose.
You
Don't forget the T.I.s too, though.
Ooh, I forgot about T.I. Ooh, I forgot about
the
T.I.
though. Ooh. The T.I.s. Ooh, that's tough. The Bun B. I mean, I'll keep going. Andre 3000 was killing it.
Yeah. But I'm gonna stay with Rose and Gucci. I did like T.I. I did love trap music. That joint was hot. But I feel like, in Atlanta, them boys was, Gucci, what he did. I mean, let's look at what Gucci did. I mean, you talking about Waka Flocka. You talking about Nicki Minaj, who came in the game off of Gucci Mane. You're talking about the Migos, who came in off of Gucci Mane. You're talking about Young Dro, who came up off of Gucci Mane. I mean, Gucci put a lot of people in the industry. So
Young Ralph.
Come on, man. Like,
just a lot of them that came. He
covered
a lot of people.
He
covered a lot of people, man. He definitely was in his bag.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it to him on the entrepreneur edge for putting more people on. But Rose right there, because he broke Meek. You know what I'm saying? He broke Wale. He broke some artists.
And also Rose, that's the time I got signed to Universal too with the 85 South Click. And Rose expired us when we doing our little writing, we was doing our little meetings and stuff. Yeah, Rose was definitely, you know what I'm saying, the hustling track, man. That was everybody's intro.
Yeah, it was hustling.
That was everybody's intro for stand-up comedy to DJs. That was a DJ for a segment for a concert. That was the intro when you come into a concert or to a club. That was the intro track, hustling track by Rose. So yeah, I can see Rose being in there. I forgot about my man Rose, man.
Yeah. You give me yours. Come on, you give me yours. Then we rotate back to Alicia.
Okay. Well, my top 5 in the 2000s all the way to now. I gotta go. Number 1, I gotta go. Definitely Jay. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you on the Jay joint. Number two, I gotta go. Drake.
Ooh, I forgot about Drake.
Put Drake on number 2, man.
Ooh, yeah.
Then I got to go Rose. Then I got to go T.I. Then I got to go Jeezy.
Jeezy over Gucci?
I go Jeezy, man. Cause you know why? Because you know why I say Jeezy. I ain't gonna hold you.
Gucci Man versus Jeezy.
I was down south when I was going on. I was down south when they was really doing their thing. But I noticed when I was down south, the underground scene of Jeezy back then, see, y'all was getting it because a lot of New York rap was grabbing a lot of Gucci stuff. But straight underground South, and a lot of my South cats tuned in will agree, from like South Carolina, Florida, to Kentucky and Tennessee. Jeezy underground albums was crazy. Before he came out with the Trap or Die with Drama, he had a double CD that was killing the streets. He had 4 or 5 underground joints when he was in Columbia before he moved to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? That was killing South Carolina, North Carolina college scenes. Every college party I went to, they was pumping Jeezy. I was seeing a lot of Gucci when I was in Atlanta or I was in Florida. You know what I mean? That was his little rim. And then he slowly came in after he got the deal. Then he started killing it. And that's in this Pen and Pad, series and all that came out and he killed it. But I was right into the midst of what Jeezy was doing. And that's why I say that, because that's all I heard at that time. But I'm pretty sure if I was in Buffalo at that time, I probably would have said Gucci, because Gucci market was real crazy up north. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why I say that.
Yeah. Alicia, 2000s. That's pretty much your whole first list. So go ahead.
This is still a tough one. Can I still go with Eminem as number 1 on that one?
Go ahead.
The Real Slims Shadys, Please Stand Up. I mean, you gotta love it. Lose Yourself, Not Afraid. He killed. He's just so raw and
so great.
Eminem definitely had a mean run in hip hop. Like, he definitely showed that he should be respected as a lyricist, as a battle rapper. You know, and doing his thing as an artist as well.
When he did a Rap God, it's just like,
yeah,
oh my God. Like how?
There's not too many. There's not rapping wise. Now there's some
think
guys
Cooler could do it though. I do.
Yeah, you know what?
You give him a run for his money.
Yo, listen. You know what? I'm gonna say this. Song wise, there's a lot of guys that can run with Eminem, but battle rap wise, not too many.
Nino the Casino. I'm sorry, Nino the Casino. When you did that song,
Yeah, Eminem was nice. Eminem was definitely nice.
Yeah, I could definitely get that to the L, man.
So you gonna keep your list the same as you did it before? I forgot about Drake. You got me on that one, Joker. You got me on that one. Because Drake definitely should be number 2. He definitely should be number 2. That's like easy.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Alicia. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. So Eminem, definitely. I think I'm good with Drake number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I love that one dance he did. Kanye West number 2 or number 3.
Yeah, Kanye was definitely.
Kanye definitely had a run.
Heartless, Stronger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gold Digger. Ain't nothing but a Gold Digger.
Mm-hmm.
How about Nicki Minaj?
Yeah.
Nicki had a run.
That's
Nicki,
respect.
Nicki had a run. A lot of people don't realize the run that Nicki had. Like, Nicki had a mean run.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still running too.
Yeah.
The new album dropping in August. Yeah.
Let's add Cardi B in there. I mean, she got a Grammy too. I mean,
yeah. I give Cardi late. I give Cardi near the end. If I did like the top 5 for like.
I'm just trying to add some females in there. That's all.
Yeah. Cardi,
yeah, that's cool.
You know,
that's cool.
And Remy would have been nice if she would have got locked up.
Yeah, Remy definitely lyrically better than all of them.
Yeah,
lyrically better than a lot of them. You know what I'm saying?
Remy,
she better than a little bit. Yeah, she definitely better than Nicki and Cardi when it comes to lyrically. Yeah. But but
Lil
Nicki,
Wayne?
Lil Wayne, you know, he was in my top 3. He was in my top 3. And you know, we kind of forget when we mention Drake, we kind of forget that Wayne kind of was like pushed him out.
Yeah.
Pushed him in the game.
Yeah.
So we got to credit Drake to Wayne.
Yeah.
And Birdman. Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Yeah. And, you know, it's that 20 to 2000 to now switch a lot of things. You got your Kendrick Lamar. You know, got your Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know, then if you look at your honorable mentions, you got your Tiger, you got your Chris Breezy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's a lot of little things that could have substitute, depends how it influenced on certain fans' lives.
Little Nas too when he came.
Nas? You said Nas?
Nas. Toad. That one crazy viral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nas was trying to keep hip hop alive. Even when he came out with the album, Hip Hop Is Dead, he still tried to keep it alive. And then you got your people that was really doing a thing that won a Grammy, like Common.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he won a Grammy, and he won an Oscar that same in the 2000s.
So let me ask y'all this question really quick. When it comes to top 5, okay, MCs, you know, people have different reasons. Some people just like lyrics, right? Mm-hmm. Other people just like, you know, beats. Mm-hmm. People with great beats. Some people like people with dynamic flows. Mm-hmm. Some people like mumble rap.
Yeah.
How do you critique who is a top 5 artist of all time? How do you critique in your hip hop all time top 5? How do you critique it?
Like I said before, when we first started, you know, before Alicia came on, and you were telling me about what's my top 5, it changes up, depends, depends what it is. If it's my personal, if it's what's my influences, or even what as far as what they've done, you know, that top 5 can change. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like all time, I got to go with personal with my all time. That's my personal.
Yeah.
People, that's why it's different perspectives in the top 5. Depends who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go to my older cousins, say what their top 5 is, they're gonna talk about the Melly Mel's and the MC Shans and the, you know what I mean? Because that was their era. You know what I mean? So that was the people that influenced them in their lives, in their top 5. But when you look at how your perspective was,
right,
Hulu, what you have done, my top 5 probably be similar as yours.
Right.
That's why I respect it. I could see me saying Pac number. I could see him saying Pac number 1. I could see Biggie being at number 6 or 7. I can see my LL Cool J's to go up. You know what I mean? Things like that. You know, the Jay-Z, what he have done, the first billionaire ever in hip hop history. So it's like them things, it changes up in different perspectives. So
yeah.
So when I do ask people what is their top 5 on I was on the radio and stuff like that, I try to get it to where what's their personal top 5.
That you know what? I mean? That's how I feel similar. I feel like, I don't just base anything. When I call something the greatest of all time, I don't base anything based off of one thing that you do. You feel me? Like Muhammad Ali was the greatest boxer, right? Because not just for being in the ring, it was his rhyming in his interviews. It was his charisma. It was, his integrity, his taking a stand for social injustice. It was him being with the Nation of Islam. There was a lot of things about him that made him the greatest of all time, that made him show you his story. And a similar thing with Pac, similar with Michael Jackson, similar with guys like that Bob Marley, guys that had that story that come with them. They might not have been the most skilled in certain areas, but overall, their overall impact in that industry trumped everybody else. So I base my top 5 is based off your all around, and you know who also doesn't get mentioned in hip hop in top 5s, who should, is Ice Cube.
Fact.
Because Ice Cube, and I'm not just talking about rap, y'all. Again, listen to the Friday. You know what I'm saying? What did Friday do for the hip hop culture? Higher Learning, Boys in the Hood. What did those movies, on top of his classic albums, on top of being the pen behind NWA, besides America's Most Wanted, besides Predator, besides those albums that he had that was classic, Ice Cube, outside of that, the films, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff contributes to the hip hop culture. What would hip hop culture be without Boys in the Hood? What would it be without Friday?
Oh yeah, man, it would be dried up a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
we gotta have that.
I feel like all about the Benjamins. Like, look at all the stuff Cube did. Even
commercials.
Come on, man.
Commercials to the
man.
Commercials to all that comes into the culture of what we represent. You know what I mean? And
it's like a melting pot. It's all bringing together.
Exactly. It's mandatory. It's part of the puzzle pieces of what we do. That's why hip hop is a culture. You know what I mean? And that's why we do what we do. Pop culture, we got rock culture, we got country music culture, we got jazz. You know what I mean? They all came from a different era of element of what music is.
Then you have Michael Jackson too.
Right, Michael
Jackson.
Yeah, Michael.
I love the moonwalk.
Yeah, Michael put the pop culture to a whole nother level.
Yo, and Joker, they don't know this about Michael Jackson. Now we're talking Michael Jackson. We're gonna do our top 5 artists in a minute. Okay. But Michael Jackson at the peak of his career, his name was the most Googled name, second to Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Wow.
These are historical facts. Look it up. Michael Jackson's name at the peak of his career, his name was the most Google search name, second to Jesus Christ.
It's amazing.
Wow.
That's how much this guy accomplished.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying?
Incredible.
That's
King
big.
of pop.
Big. Awesome. Yeah. That's what's up.
So that being said, Alicia, we're gonna pass it to you. We've been talking for a minute. We're gonna pass it to you. artists, top 5 artists, music artists, because right here on IBP Media Group on the Underground Lounge Show, you and Joker will be tackling music as worldwide. Dance hall, K-pop, hip hop, trap, every genre, rock and roll,
gospel,
dance, every African music, everything we're going to tackle right here on the Underground Lounge, trending hot music, indie artists, all of that good stuff. So that being said, all-time artists, it ain't just one category.
Okay.
So don't limit yourself to hip hop. Don't limit yourself to rock. Don't limit yourself to pop. All-time musicians. What's your top 5?
I'm going to say Michael Jackson.
Of course.
Number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is going to be a throwback. What about Elvis?
Elvis definitely up there.
The original rock king.
Mm-hmm. The king of rock. How about Elton John?
Ooh.
Elton John's nice.
I love Elton John. Yes.
Another one would be James Brown.
James Brown. Come on, man.
Yes.
You know what, Joe?
Awesome.
How many people learn dance from James Brown? Even Michael Jackson got a lot from James Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
James Brown definitely up there. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Got 2 more.
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. Shout out to Stevie right now. He's living in Ghana right now.
Yeah.
Living in Africa right now, living in Ghana, went back to the motherland. Stevie, man. Stevie definitely was one of the greatest musicians of all time. That's not even, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to Ribbon in the Sky earlier. You know what I'm saying?
Your cousin was just playing that joint.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? On the sax joint. Yeah.
Go ahead, Joker's on you.
Okay. Number 1, Mike. I think everybody number 1 be Michael. Michael Jackson, number 1. Number 2, I got to go with Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi
Hendrix.
Jimmy was that boy.
Jimi Hendrix. And then I got to go with number 3. I got to go with Queen. Yeah.
Very
Talking about a group? That's a group.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. That's everybody. That whole group.
Let's throw AC/DC in there too. Why not?
I mean,
come on, I love the rock.
I can't.
Queen was definitely that group. They definitely was fire.
And then I got to go with the Bob Marley.
Mm-hmm. Bob
Marley on the 4.
Africa Unite.
Yeah. The number 5. Number 5. It's between my boy James Brown or Prince.
Very, very nice.
Y'all making it hard for me. All right. Okay. Michael, King of Pop. Yes. Nobody did like Michael did. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
Michael, greatest of all time.
Awesome.
But I'm going to have to say Prince is the best musician of all time.
Okay.
Number 2.
Respect.
Prince can play every instrument.
Anything.
And he made his own music. He composed a lot of his own music. He wrote most of his own music. That's something Michael Jackson didn't do.
Yes,
he did not write all his music, and he didn't compose all his music. Prince composed not all of it, but most of his music. And people also need to go back and research the 1992 Batman movie. That was all produced by Prince.
Right.
Yep. That Batman and Joker movie, the Batman and Batman Returns with the Penguin. That was all produced by Prince.
Yeah.
And then go look at all the artists that Prince put in the game.
Oh man. Go.
Yeah, man. Man, come on, man. Prince put so many people in the game. It's ridiculous. Go research that about Prince for those who don't know.
He wrote for a writer. He wrote for Lionel Richie.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And what was my man's name from the time? What's my man? Morris Day was talking about how great Prince was. Yeah. And Prince wrote for him too. Go check him out. Go check it out. Purple Rain. The Purple Rain. And you know what? That's another thing. Prince paved the way for a lot of those those pop artists to make films.
Yeah.
If you kind of watch when Prince did Purple Rain, Michael kind of piggybacked off him and did Moonwalker.
Yeah.
So Prince was a guy that a lot of people was chasing.
Right.
I'm gonna go 3.
Mm.
Give me Bob Marley.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Bob Marley. You know, come on, man. Come on, y'all know what Bob Marley did, man.
Oh yeah,
No Woman, No Cry.
Yeah.
Africa Unite. That classic album that he put out, Bob Marley, you know, man, everything is gonna be all right. That's still being played. Those songs still being played to this very day.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, man. He changed the game for the Rastafarians. You know, so shout out to Bob Marley, man. Bob Marley. He put the Rastas on the map. You know what I'm saying? And he was speaking truth at the same time.
Yes,
he was speaking truth at the same time and making great music with it. So Bob right up there with Prince and Michael Jackson. 4, I'm gonna go James Brown.
Yeah.
Alicia, I'm snatching that one.
It's okay.
I'm snatching that one. James Brown.
It's a winner.
I mean, my man got it lit when he was on that stage, man.
Come on, man.
There wasn't nobody messing with James.
Come on, man.
James was that guy.
James, you see the movie, you know what I mean? He'd do a line of coke and get busy. You know what I'm saying?
And then 5, I'm gonna have to go with Elvis, man. Elvis definitely, he definitely changed the game.
Some hip thrust, y'all.
Yeah, man. My man Elvis had bangers, man.
Yeah.
Elvis was definitely that boy.
In a lot of movies. He was in a lot of movies.
Yeah. You know, icon. So Elvis definitely got to be up there.
Yeah.
And for how about the females, we add the late great Whitney Houston.
See,
man, she about to make me share a tear up in here, man.
See what I'm saying?
She about to make
Whitney change the game.
Yeah. Man, we actually interviewed that's going to be on the Culture Show, which is going to be coming up next after the Underground Lounge. We actually interviewed Tracy Baker Simmons, who put together that Being Bobby Brown series and the Houston show. She put that together and she drops a lot of jewels on what was behind the scenes. So look forward to that on the Culture Show as well, right here on IBP Media. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell, subscribe, lock in, stay with us. Follow, share, all of that good stuff. Comment. We see a lot of comments coming through. IBP team, we hope y'all engaging with them. But yeah, definitely Whitney Houston.
Yeah, Whitney.
Who can sing with Whitney?
Ooh, only person I can see is close to her is my girl, Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah, Jennifer Hudson.
She's phenomenal.
Jennifer Hudson definitely can blow.
She's the new Whitney right now.
Yeah. But, you know, some people was trying to, back in the day, remember they had that comparison with Mariah and her?
Oh, that was stupid. No, that was ridiculous. Stop.
What's your thoughts on that, Alicia? What's your thoughts on Mariah and Whitney? Comparison-wise, voice-wise.
I don't know. I mean, they're both iconic. I mean, with her Christmas Carol, I mean, like, you cannot. All I Want for Christmas Is You. I love that song. But then you go back to Whitney Houston and I Will Always Love You. So it's like they're both icons of their time. You know, they both bring it in their own which way. You know.
Yeah. Joker. I know you got to throw Madonna out there.
I like Madonna. Madonna. She brung pop culture into the club singing. I think she was more like club pop to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Aretha Franklin.
You know what I'm saying? And she's the queen. I mean, it's like, you know,
break down the house, Aretha. See? Take it away.
What's the influence?
Boom, baby.
Top 5. See, it's tough. It's real tough. We've got a lot of them. You know, that you said AC/DC. You know, come on, man. You know. Mick Jagger. I mean, come on now. We keep going.
Yeah. So many names. There's so many names.
See what I'm saying? I mean, you know, when you get your top 5 in, you got to go by what's in your heart, what influenced you, what moved you. if you go by what they have done, it changed up again.
Yeah.
It changed up a whole nother top 5, a whole different order. It might be that same 5, it might be a different order. So it's like it's crazy.
I'm always gonna go in top 5. I'm always gonna go with names that you know, but I'm also gonna go with people who stood for something too.
Yeah, that's cool. That's why I like that's why I like your perspective, Kulu, because I never looked at things. Me doing this for a long time, you change the perspective of how I think about certain things of people. Because you go by what people have done, what they brought to the table for the people.
Yeah,
that's big.
Yeah. When it comes to hip hop, when it comes to being an artist, music is life, right? Music gets you through some hard times, and this is something that I want to throw out there for our listeners out there. Alicia, why don't you tell us about a particular artist? Just give us just one artist that got you through hard times, and tell us how.
Honestly, I'm gonna fall back to Eminem again. I'm a sucker for him. I am, but it just he's so raw. He's so real. He just brings it. He doesn't care what he says. He doesn't care what people think about him. He doesn't care what other people say. He just says, "You want this? Is who I am. This is what I do." And I'm Eminem. How do you like me so far? I don't care. This is who I am. Boom, boom, baby.
Yeah.
Like that was him.
Joker.
Who influenced me definitely. The 2 people influenced me. No one was Biggie. Biggie. Rakim was, but Biggie the one that really was speaking to my life. You know what I mean? And Biggie, and then also DMX. DMX, 2 main people that really spoke in my life to do the things that I do today. Far as hip hop, music, period, always moved me, no matter what it was.
Now, how did those 2 artists get you through a hard time?
Really, Biggie spoke in my life because he's been through the same thing. Mom's kicking him out. Teachers say he ain't gonna be nothing. Him sneaking out, me seeing a biopic similar to what I was going through in my life in high school. And same thing with DMX. DMX growing up, his mom's, disowned him. My mom disowned me. It's like everything, like, he was homeless. I was homeless. It's like everything that they was saying in their albums is encouraged me and got me to, speak my truth. That's why I wrote the Never Dies and the, and the Peace of Minds and all the little tracks I've written, and working on my new album called Overlook MC. It's gonna be a lot more stuff that I'm expressing. My new single coming out called Van Brown. So it's like these things is part of me. And then Biggie and DMX really gave me hope for myself as an artist. Like, you can do this. This is you. Don't care what nobody. Don't care who don't support me. I don't care who don't download my music, who don't play my music. Music is an outlet for me first. It keeps me living and breathing. If it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys because I've been
and music brought us all together too.
Yeah, mental health is real, man.
Absolutely.
Mental health is real, man. I've been suicidal and all that in my life. So it's like my mental health is crazy, and music saved it. So, So that, that's a big part of my life. And definitely when Biggie was saying the things he was saying, Pac did too, but Biggie hit it on the head for me on a personal level. And then DMX just put the ice on the cake for me.
Yeah. Hip hop wise, mine is going to be definitely Tupac and DMX. Tupac and DMX to me, some people think that these 2 guys are similar, but they affected me in 2 different ways. Tupac, particularly the revolutionary side, that the rebel side, the intellectual side. I think this is an inner conflict that every young Black male grows up with. They kind of grow up with a side where, okay, I want to do the right thing, but at the same time, I want to be in the street. At the same time, I want this woman. At the same time, I want to be a woman and man. It's like the internal conflict. That's what Tupac represented. He represented You know, a guy that just didn't fear about speaking his thoughts, his fears, his pain, his suffering. And he made hits, he made bangers, but he got me through a lot of times growing up. And then we could talk about Hit 'Em Up. You know, when he came out with Hit 'Em Up, this record just raging against the world.
Number one disc record of all time.
Yeah, raging against the world. You know, pouring out your heart on records, Dear Mama. You know, Keep Your Head Up. Brenda's Got a Baby. I mean, those records touched your heart. They touched your soul.
I don't mean to interrupt y'all, but I gotta on my way to work.
All right, Joker.
I'm behind.
Joker, it's always a pleasure. Much love, Joker.
And I'm doing security for the new Queen Latifah today. So hope I meet Queen Latifah today. She's filming season 2 of Equalizer here in Albuquerque. I'm doing security.
Shout out to Latifah.
So hopefully I can meet her today.
Queen Latifah, the queen.
You know what I'm saying? This is live right here on the launch show here. I'm going to definitely do my security work, my uniform on, and be behind the scenes. But I got to get ready. But it's been a pleasure to launch the show today. Everybody keep tuning in. Hit that bell, subscribe, follow, and keep sharing. And all my IBP family, I appreciate y'all sharing and doing the things y'all doing. I appreciate y'all. No doubt.
One love to the Joker.
Next time, Joker. Boom, boom, baby.
So the Joker is gone. So Alicia, you are going to be a part of the Underground Lounge show. You know, we worked with you a long time ago. I helped you out as your hype man at one point, and now you into the podcasting world. You know, Alicia, tell us what's been going on in your world and what interests you to join IBP Media.
Well, I am a live streamer where I literally will stream anywhere from 8 to 10, 12 hours, 7 days a week on a live streaming app, Bigo. And I've been doing it for a little over 2 years on Bigo. I have 2.27 million followers. And I sit there every single day. Shout out to the AG Army, Alicia G fans. You guys are amazing. Boom, boom, baby. But I talk to people every single day. I just try to promote positivity, and just every day we push out the negativity, pushing the positivity, the best yet to come, just believe. I start every broadcast off like that. But basically it's just every time I do a broadcast, is always that one person or more that say, Alicia, I came to your broadcast. I was having a bad day, but then, you know what? I came to your broadcast and I'm smiling again, or I'm having a bad day and I know you're going to cheer me up. We turn that frown upside down and we make it happen each and every day. And I'm like, if I can do that for even one person, I know I did something right. I love that concept. And I can promote this across the world in a podcast. And I originally was like, hey, maybe I should do my own podcast. I've been really thinking about it. And then maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. Now let's do it. And then a few days ago, you guys approached me. I'm like, yes, and yes, let's do it.
Yeah. Right timing. Perfect wise timing. Minds think alike, right?
Everything happens for a reason. Let's go.
That's right. So Alicia G, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with IBP Media. You're definitely going to be a valued person to the team. We're going to take an intermission right here, back with my cousin Adelaja Young, who's going to play some music for us. And then we will be back with the Culture Show with myself and Shay. We'll be right back.
This is Adelaja Young for IBP Media. We're going to do a little bit of Sade.
With breaking news on IBP Media. The trial for former officers in Floyd case delayed until next year. According to an article noted in the Associated Press, the trial for the 3 former Minneapolis police officers charged with aiding and abetting in the death of George Floyd was to face trial on August 23rd, but now will be pushed back to March 2022. Judge Peter Cowhill said this decision was made in part to allow the publicity over Derek Chauvin's conviction to cool off. The officer's co-defendant, Chauvin, was convicted in April of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter. He is to be sentenced on June 25th and could face up to 30 years in prison. All 4 officers also face federal charges for violating Floyd's civil rights during his arrest. Judge Peter Cowhill said he also moved the other officers' trial so the federal case can go forward first. Even though no date has been set for the federal case, Cowhill said it carries higher potential penalties. Although federal civil rights violations can carry the possibility of death penalty, experts say that won't happen. Chauvin could face a life sentence if convicted on the federal charges. According to a former federal prosecutor, the delay in trial could mean that the former officers are talking about a plea deal, hoping that they will be offered lower penalties in the federal case and a dismissal of the state charges. Okay, let's take a second to really dissect this article that I just read. First and foremost, we don't need no expert to tell us that more than likely Derek Chauvin will not receive the death penalty if he is found guilty when it comes to the federal charges of him violating George Floyd's civil rights. We know that already. At the end of the day, this is still America, and we ain't made that much progress. That's just what that is. Second of all, when it comes to Judge Cowhill pushing back the 3 officers' trial to March 2022, honestly, I don't feel like publicity on the situation is going to necessarily die down. yeah, it won't be talked about in everyday news and everyday media, but because this situation with George Floyd, this went viral. And viral to the point where, I mean, worldwide type of viral to the point where we're having protests across the globe, not just here in America, but across the globe, the whole planet, Earth with an F. So you can't really tell me that we're just gonna, prolong it for a year so that publicity over Derek Chauvin being convicted can cool off a little bit and then pick up where we left off. Honestly, that's what's gonna happen with the emotions, because it's that intense. This situation, this story is that intense. Everybody saw that video. So what's going to happen when that trial picks back up is those emotions from the trial, the same emotions that people felt too when Derek Chauvin was convicted, they're going to pick back up where they left off. That's just how I feel personally. So for him to say that, I'm just kind of like, whatever. And honestly, I also have another opinion where you kind of can't tell me that Judge Cowhill and at least one of these 4 officers have never crossed paths when it comes to working. He's a Minneapolis judge. They are police officers in Minneapolis. How many times do police officers come to court to give testimony on certain cases in trials? So it's really hard for me to believe that he's never crossed paths with at least one of them. At least one. Now, when it comes to pushing it back so that the federal charges can come forward first, that makes more sense to me. So we could have left out the publicity down part and just went straight for, let's allow the federal charges to come first with the 4 officers and then pick back up on the state level. There was noted that there's a possibility those officers are trying to work out a plea deal so that the state charges or the state case is dropped or dismissed and they receive, lower penalties on the federal charges for violating George Floyd's civil rights. But anyway, thank you for tuning in to IBP Media, Breaking News with Nikki Cotero. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And comment below. Let us know what you think.
We apologize. We're having some technical issues right now with some of our playback here for some particular reason. But welcome back. We are going to begin, and this is our second last segment of the launch party right here on IBP Media Group. We're going to be discussing with my sister Shay, bringing her in. Shay, what's going on, sister? Let me unmute you. There you go. Welcome to the show, sister. We started the culture show back on IBP radio. And it was actually your idea to say, Kulu, I think we should go visual.
Yeah.
So talk about the culture show and what does the culture show represent to you, and why is it so important to changing this narrative?
The culture show to me is knowledge. Knowledge is power. And I know that sounds very cliche, but it's absolutely true in every aspect that it can be true in. We represent the African diaspora around the globe. We represent the fact that our culture has roots in all the other cultures. You know what I mean? Our presence is known on every continent prior to the European history books.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that gives yourself a sense of pride that wasn't there before, especially for Black Americans, where we only know about being descendants of slaves.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't really give you much pride. But with this show, it's so important to me because we're showing people that it was so much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
It was on a much larger scale. It was on a more grand scale. You know, you're descendants from kings and queens and philosophers and mathematicians and people who pretty much set the foundation for civilization for all the other cultures to have come and gone and currently exist. You know, we also love to promote entrepreneurs, you know, the local mom and pop shops, you know, keeping things in the community and just supporting each other and lifting each other up outside of the corporate businesses who don't really care about the people. They just care about your dollar.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And definitely, you know, we've noticed that the media has played a pivotal part in dividing the African diaspora, so to speak, in which we talk a lot about on the Culture Show. Some of these divisions, we experienced some on Clubhouse, where you started to see debates between Africans and African Americans. Why don't you talk about some of those intense discussions that we had with individuals on Clubhouse? Shout out to Clubhouse, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Clubhouse. Yeah, those conversations were very interesting. You know, as a person who seeks knowledge and who likes to hear the opinions of others, I can say that I value others' opinions. I don't value the separation that was being presented. You know, like, well, I'm an American, so I should only concern myself with American problems. Or, you know, I'm from Africa, we should only concern ourselves with African problems. And it shouldn't be that way, because at the end of the day, you know, we may be on different continents, but we're all still family in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
We all come from the same cradle.
Yeah, and when you talk about the role that media has played, and we discussed this a lot of times on the Culture Show, how media has depicted on the African continent, media has depicted African Americans to be gangsters, pimps, hoes, rappers, all of these different things, gang members, violence, and vice versa. On the flip side, Africa has been painted as impoverished, war, poverty, you know, disease, Ebola, AIDS, flies flying around children's heads. It seems that the media has played a pivotal part in dividing the diaspora. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. And it's been that way before media was known as media. You know, media has taken so many different forms for thousands of years. Plays are a form of media. Press is a form of media. Stories, like in ancient times, they would call a storyteller a bard in certain areas. You know, that's a form of media. And the media has definitely gone above and beyond to keep us separate and to demonize us in some way, shape, or form, or to make us appear less than. And a lot of the times you find that people are kind of, some people, I should say, are playing into that. And you're not helping to paint the picture in a better light by playing into it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the media, and this is why this platform was created. This platform was created to change and to diversify the narrative that mainstream media has created by putting cultures against cultures, religion against religion, race versus race, all of these things. And Shay, you mentioned on your show a quote that you said, "We're all the same people." What did you mean by "we're all the same people"?
We're all the same people, meaning that we all come from the same cradle of life, right? I'm your sister, even though we don't come from the same mom or dad. I'm your cousin. I'm your aunt. You know, like, we are all the same people. We all come from the same place.
Now, you ain't my aunt now.
Yeah, you never know. I might be your aunt down the line somewhere.
Go ahead. I had to throw that at you. Go ahead.
Yeah, but just because just like I said, just because we come from different continents or we come in different shades or we may have some different backgrounds somewhere down the family tree, it doesn't mean that we're not all family. We all come from the same place. We are all one people.
Exactly. And that's also an interview that we had with Jane Elliott, and she mentioned the same thing, that we're all one race, one people. The idea of white superiority is a myth. It's something that was used as a tactic to enslave a race at the time that was quite diverse. I mean, the African continent still to this very day is a very diverse place. I think people forget that Africa is not a country. It's a continent of many different countries.
It's a huge continent. In fact, all the other continents fit into Africa at once.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let's talk about some of the great women of great renown that kind of get skipped over throughout history. Why don't you talk about some on the African American side, and then I will talk about some on the African side.
Okay. So let's see, some women on the African American side that get skipped over a lot. I'm definitely going to say the African American woman who created the GPS system. Thank you so much for that, by the way, because you know what? Without it, I'd be lost. I'd be lost. Yeah. And I feel really bad because, while I know her name, I can't recall her name right now. But I mean, you can always Google it. Like, it's right there. Then there's also
users help us out here. Give us a name if you can. Drop it in the box if you find it.
I'm getting old. I can't remember. Like,
I'm gonna throw Queen Imani Reyes. Queen Imani Reyes of the Kushite Kingdom. This one woman lost her son in the battle against the Romans. She lost her husband. She lost her husband first. Then she lost her son. Then she lost her eye. She lost her eye, y'all. They called her the one-eyed queen. And she still fought on the front line against the Romans, able to not allow the Romans to colonize Kush. They were able to free themselves from being colonized. And Queen Imani Reyes stood on the reign for over 40 years. This was an African woman who resisted the great Roman Empire, which was the world power at that time. Another we always talk about, and by the way, for everybody listening out there, the book I, Black Pharaoh, Golden Age of Triumph is out right now. It dropped yesterday, so make sure you go get that. And in that book, we talk about the great Queen Hatshepsut. This is a queen that we don't hear about a lot when it comes to ancient Egypt. We hear a lot about Cleopatra. We hear a lot about the mystery of Nefertiti, but we don't really hear about Hatshepsut. In fact, Hatshepsut actually had like 20 to 25 years on the throne, in absolute power, with her co-regent, with her son, stepson, Tutmosis III. So make sure you go grab I, Black Pharaoh, Golden Age of Triumph to really get the insight on how Hatshepsut rose to power, and also about Tutmosis III. But yeah, those two North African queens, they really, like, I always tell sisters today to embrace the power of these women. I tell all women this: embrace the power of these women, because prior to women liberation movements, these women in ancient times, these African women were ruling. In fact, African women have produced more ruling queens than any other culture. And these are things that should be known. So for the women empowerment movements, you should know this, that Africa produced more more rulers, absolute rulers, female absolute rulers, than any place on the planet. And Queen Imani Reyes and Queen Hatshepsut were two of my favorites.
Absolutely. I love the history behind Hatshepsut, being queen. And when Kulu says, absolute rulers, he means that she was a queen in her own right.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have to, hide behind a male figure in order to rule, like you see in a lot of other cultures.
Right.
Especially like if you look at the European throne, it wasn't up until maybe, and I could be wrong about this, but from what I've seen, up until about Queen Victoria, there was a lot of pressure to have a king on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you look back at Queen Elizabeth I, and that was in the 1400s, no, 1500s. She was very pressured. You need to marry. Like, you can't be queen if you can't, if you're not going to get married. She was the longest reigning monarch up until the current queen, but still the pressure was there. And it wasn't like that for, the African queens.
No, absolutely not.
They were rulers of their own rights.
Yeah, I think in a European traveler, his name slips my mind. But I read about it. He traveled to visit Mansa Musa, and he was surprised at the high ranking of so many females. He was so surprised at how women were held at such a high status in this African kingdom at the time. And at the time, for those who don't know, in the 13th and the 14th century, Mali was the richest kingdom in the world at that time. This was what you may know as Mansa Musa Abu Bakari II, as well, were rulers of ancient Mali. So a rich continent at the time, and it actually was a time where the world became awakened on the riches that sub-Saharan Africa had. Sub-Saharan Africa, I don't even like that term, but what they call today sub-Saharan Africa had. Because Europe knew about Egypt. Europe knew about Kush, but they didn't really know what was going on in Central, Western, and South Africa, particularly when it came to resources. And when Mansa Musa traveled on his pilgrimage to Mecca, Mansa Musa dropped off so much gold in Egypt and so much gold in Mecca, and he had 100,000 soldiers with him. And an article came out in Arabia, and it spread to Europe about the wealth of this black man in Central Africa, Western Africa. And from then on, mercenaries were sent out to discover who was Mansa Musa, who is he, and what is the source of his wealth. And we noticed what happened shortly after. When the 1492 came, we know the pillaging of Africa began. We know about the 1884 with the Council of Berlin, where Africa really suffered. And we also know about what happened with transatlantic slave trade. So when you mention that we were all the same people, it's very ironic, Sister Shay, that the curriculums start at the 1400s and up. Why do you think that is?
Ironic or well placed?
A little both.
Why do I think that is?
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you're going to make a people submissive, I think that if you are going to be able to keep the slaves the way that you want them, you have to keep their mind at a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and that goes back to me saying, the reason why I love, the culture show and what we talk about, the knowledge. If you have the mentality that, I'm just a descendant of slaves, you're going to hold a very, I won't say that it's like up on the forefront, but like subconsciously, you're going to hold that as kind of like a shame. It's going to be, you're not going to be proud of that per se. You get some people like, I'm a descendant of slave. We made it through. That's great. But that's not the same level of confidence as saying I am the descendant of a king and a queen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm descendant of a civilization that the world was completely envious of and did their best to break it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It holds a different level of pride. So if you're going to keep a people, subjugated and enslaved mentally and physically, you have to create a curriculum that's going to keep it that way. We know that America has systematic oppression. There's no doubt in that. Okay. We know the systematic oppression rolls from financial to educational to the jail system. It affects even the family dynamic. So if we're going to keep these people in their place, we have to be able to teach them what we want them to know, which is before you were slaves here, you were swinging on the vines in Africa, running with the lions, and then we came and civilized you. And that's not true.
Not true at all. If you look in, and we talk about this a lot, right? Kemet, the knowledge about ancient Kemet is rising. For those who are listening who don't know much about Kemet, the name Kemet is ancient Egypt. This is what Egypt was called, which means the black land or land of the blacks, for those who didn't know what Kemet means. But this is what ancient Egypt was called by the ancient Egyptian people. The term Egypt didn't come until the Greeks took over Egypt, okay, which was in the 32nd dynasty of Egypt. So that term was not, the term Egypt or Egyptian was not used by these original ancient Egyptian people. Let's get that very clear. So the rise of Kemite knowledge has really caused a lot of problems for modern day Egyptology, which has whitewashed a lot of ancient African kings, queens, what have you, artifacts. We can go on and on about the things that happen. Why do you think that Kemet studies is so important for Africans in the diaspora to know about when it comes to reclaiming their history?
I think it's very important because like Malcolm X said, the black man has become so dull down that he could look at a picture of himself and not even see himself. And the fact that we can see these, let's take media for an example, since we brought it up already. Let's think about Cleopatra. Who played Cleopatra? That the most famous role.
What's her name? Elizabeth Taylor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Taylor plays Cleopatra, and all you see is this. And don't get me wrong, I love Elizabeth Taylor. She's actually one of my favorite actresses. She's wonderful. Like, rest in peace for her. But you see this white woman playing a role that was not originally meant for her to play, basically. I'm trying to be nice when I say this. But it's important for us to realize and look over there and see ourselves, because we do come from there. We may not come from that exact region. A lot of us don't know what part of Africa we come from.
Right.
But as a whole diaspora, that is our home. And just like, the Europeans in Europe have their home, they know about their history and stuff like that. They have a very deep sense of pride in it. And we need to do the same. We can have pride in the fact that, we came from, some of us came from slaves here, and that our families made it through, the struggle and the humiliation and the torture. But we also need to have a bigger sense of pride that these people were so jealous. They did everything in their power that they could to tear us down.
Yeah, they say history belongs to the victors, and
his story.
His story, exactly.
His story.
I think it's important for people to connect with ancient Africa, not just Africans in the diaspora. I think the whole world needs it to know, for the simple fact that ancient Africa is the beginning of all human life. It's the beginnings of all civilization. Even if you turn around a dollar bill, you see a pyramid there. obviously in early days of shout out to Dr. Shally Ann Ashton, and as well as shout out to Solange Ashby, the only Black Egyptologist. We had them on the Culture Show when we did the radio show. And shout out to my dear friend Vanessa Davies, who's also been very strong with speaking the African origins of ancient Egypt. But one thing I learned from those Egyptologists is that in the early stages of Egyptology, it was really the goal to connect biblical studies to ancient Egypt. And the first thing they had to do with connecting biblical studies was to separate Egypt from Africa. Because if you make the connection between Egyptians being African or Black, as we call it today, it would be very hard to separate the Israelites from Black as well.
Yes.
Who were very well mixed with the Egyptians. I mean, even the Bible mentions Joseph being in Egypt most of his life, Moses growing up in Egypt and always being called an Egyptian. Even when he left Egypt, he had an appearance of an African man somewhat. So they had to separate Egypt from Africa in order to create what they call today Egyptology and promote white superiority. So shout out to Jane Elliott as well, because she came on the Culture Show, and you guys who have subscribed can also go check out that interview of Jane Elliott, where she mentioned you cannot continue to promote white superiority if you can admit that all those wonderful things that we got from Egypt came from Black people, end quote. And then that was a very powerful statement that she made right here on IBP Media. So shout out to Jane Elliott, who's been doing so much great work and anti-racism for so long. And shout out to everybody that are fighting this fight still to this very day. Now, when it comes down to the curriculum, Shay, and we talked about this before, what do you think needs to happen? The emergence of George Floyd's murder has really created a new Great Awakening, and not just people of the diaspora, but people all over the world are now open to their eyes to the things that have been happening to African and African Americans in this country. Do you think this could lead to changes in the curriculum and accepting all history for what it was and not the whitewashed version of it?
I think that if we take the bull by the horns, as they say, this could be a great opening for us to be able to change the curriculum to accepting all histories and not just the history that they want us to know here. I've said this before on the show. If you go to Italy, they have, Black saints. They're not going to teach you that here. If you go to Spain, Spain will tell you, yes, we were ruled by the Moors for almost 1,000 years. As far as their collection of history goes. And it was probably even more longer than that because, recorded history has taken different forms over the years. But according to the Spaniard history, they were ruled by the Moors for almost 1,000 years. That's not something that is taught here. We're not taught that, the Moors were rulers of Europe. We're not taught that if you go to the tip of Spain, to Gibraltar, and you look across the water, you see the coast of Africa. You don't even need binoculars for it. When you look at the map, Africa looks so small compared to the other countries, and it's actually bigger than all of them.
Yeah. We were talking about that on the show too.
Yeah, and it's not a accidental thing. It is absolutely on purpose. It's subliminal messages. And that's something that is taught in psychology. When you're watching like the Super Bowl, right? And the biggest part of the Super Bowl, aside from the game itself, are what? The commercials.
Mm-hmm.
You are being subliminally taught through the commercials. Your eyes are catching it, your brain register it, but you don't exactly register it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. It's a mental warfare. So if we're going to change the narrative, we need to take the bull by the horns and do it now. We need to be able to show people, because we've become visual learners, a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need to show people this is what it really was.
Right.
And once you do that, you can start to humanize Black people again, because we have been dehumanized for so long.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my seminars that I do, Shay, you know, I see so many people from all different cultures, different religions, different backgrounds that are just in awe of the things that they weren't taught. People with PhDs, people with master's degrees are sitting there like, how come I've never learned that? And many people were offended. And this, I'm not just mentioning, this isn't just Blacks either. This is a world. And Professor Robin Walker mentioned this. He said, for the world to be deceived, it wouldn't just be Black people being deceived. The entire world has to be deceived on what concept of history. So a lot of people should take a step back and be offended that they have been taught many things and got degrees in many things that are just not true. Professor Robin Walker also mentioned, shout out to him, one of my mentors, him and Akala, shout out to both of them. They mentioned this thing about group esteem, and I always talk about group esteem because it's so very important when it comes to how you feel about your culture, religion, or your race. And if you look at, let's say, the Asian community, let's talk about the Asian community really quickly. The Asian community may not have as high self-esteem particularly, but their group esteem is so high. When your group esteem is high, it's like you think very highly of your people. But then when you look at the working class African American, they have very high self-esteem, but very low group esteem as to what they think about their culture, religions, or race. They think they don't think so highly of them. So when your group esteem is high, you're always looking up at what you could be and what you can do. So right here on the Culture Show, our goal is to raise that group esteem up in the diaspora to be on an actual even playing field with the rest of the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of that is something that has been ingrained into our DNA, unfortunately. You know, it's like a textbook case in psychology, for example, the fight or flight response, right? You know, here I am, this is just psychology, a primitive hunter. Okay. And I'm hunting. If I'm just walking through like everything is okay, I'm going to die. Right? Something's going to come out and get me because I have no fight or flight response. But if I'm walking through and I'm cautious about something, most likely I'm going to live, right? Because I'm cautious a little bit. And that has been ingrained into our DNA. That's why we all have a fight or flight response. And the same thing for this group mentality versus the single mentality. You know what I mean? We have been taught for a very long time self-preservation above group preservation, and that is the downfall.
Yes.
Because once you are a group, you're strong, right? And it's like I put on my shirt, right? I is not me. I is we, and we is power.
Yep. 2 is better than 1. Yeah. And that's definitely something that we talk about right here on the Culture Show. Make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe on YouTube so you can get everything that we got coming. We got sports on the show. We have breaking news on IBP Media. We are not a media platform that will just be doing one particular genre or one particular subject. We will go very versatile, just as we did today right here on the launch party. We went from sports to hip hop to music, and now we're talking history. And also we talk about love and relationships segment. So and that being said, Shay, let's switch over to the love and relationship segment we have for today on this brief segment of the Culture Show. Role reversal. Role reversal has become a thing that has become highly talked about in all relationships around the world, particularly in the Black American community. And this term role reversal has a lot to do with the role of a woman being more in the home and the role of the man who's particularly in the work field. But that has reversed today. Today, it's more saying that women are in the work field and men are not on that same level, particularly. What are your thoughts on role reversal? Is it ideal for women, for men not to be the men of the past?
I don't want to say that it's ideal, no, because in today's day and age, we absolutely need both on an equal playing field, or at least close to being equal with the family dynamics, with the cost of living, being able to raise our children properly. It definitely needs a balance. But yes, the role reversal has definitely increased. I can say that, in the 90s is where I really started to notice it. As an adult looking back, I can say I really noticed it in the 90s. For example, the Rugrats, right? I want to say the Rugrats really showed that role reversal in like blazing glory, right? You have Betty, and Betty's like this macho woman who likes to work out, and she's got this headband on and the symbol for a woman on her shirt, and she's like, power mom. And then you have her husband Howard, who is a stay-at-home dad, and he's like all scrawny and meek, and and that really kind of targeted that role reversal for young kids, because now you're like, okay, well, you know what, this is normal, I can do this, as a young child. And you know what, cool is, speaking of that, have you seen that the Rugrats are getting ready to do a reboot?
No, I didn't see that. My sister used to love the Rugrats a lot, my little sister, and I had to watch it because she was watching it.
We're getting ready to do a reboot, but the reason why I bring that up is because there is no more Howard.
Oh, what?
Yes, Betty is going to be a part of the LGBTQ community, and I know there's more letters. I'm sorry, I just have to make it short.
Wow. So she left her husband. She left her husband, or
no? There was no husband.
Oh,
yeah, they just Howard's just he's written off. Bye, Howard.
Wow, interesting.
I think that's going to be very interesting. I'm actually going to watch it because I'm curious as to what else they're going to change, what other kind of dynamic they're going to change, because you had the single dad, Chucky's dad.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to how they're going to portray this new reboot and how it's going to psychologically affect the kids watching it.
I can tell you this, I don't know if this is more of a form of oppression, but everywhere I turn, and the workplaces, hospitals, anywhere, I see sisters. I see sisters with jobs, and I see very few brothers. And I think this affects the family structure. When a woman can't look for a man for protection, for to be a provider, I think it makes it very difficult for the family to even be built without those things. So I think the role reversal has a lot to do with survival too at this point, because a lot of brothers can't seem to get the work that they need, partially because of qualification, but also because of oppression, also because of the prison system. It's a bunch of different reasons why. Also because of the welfare system. That's another big to do of removing the man from the home. So I think all of that plays into role reversal. Do you feel like at this point women are kind of just like, I'll take what I can get, Sisters, I'm talking about Black women particularly. Are they just like, because a lot of Black women don't prefer to date outside of their race. So do you feel like they're just like, well, I'll try to mold a man particularly to where I want him to be?
I think that there are a lot of Black women out there who have that mentality of, good Black men with good credit and a job or a decent job, I should say, is in short supply. And they feel that they can find a man that may have potential and seek to mold him into something more. And while that can happen, I'm not saying that it can't. It's hard because that person has to want it themselves. You know what I mean?
I'm always under the cloth, like, as a man myself, I can't say I would change for anyone. I would have to want to change. I would have to want better for myself. I don't think I would change for any person. I don't think I would be happy with that. And I think, my father used to say, you can't change a man's mind when it's made up. You know what I'm saying? I think you can definitely inspire a man to change. But if you're actually in a relationship with that man, it may be a lot tougher than if you weren't. If you were just friends and he watched what you're doing and he was kind of like motivated to get on your level on certain things, I think that's a way you can affect a man. But when you're together and there's pressure now, there's pressure for him to step his game up, particularly, I think that's where it gets really tough. Because men are built off pride. We're built off pride and respect. That's everything a man has is pride and respect. So once he feel he doesn't have that, I don't think he will ever feel completely whole.
I don't think that he'll feel completely whole either. We've had this conversation before where you've said it yourself, where a man's pride runs deep. And if you're wounding that pride, you kind of make it where he doesn't feel as motivated. It's like, okay, well, for what? Why am I doing this? If you wounded my pride, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, or you're trying to take over and wear the pants and all this other kind of stuff. And I can't figure my own way through. Well, what am I doing this for?
Actually, when the Emancipation Proclamation taught, there was actually an article about the people called the Wanderers who wandered the country. And these were particularly Black men. When these Black men were set free and the master says, hey, this is your last day of work. You're free. Go. Right. This is when you started to see Black men wandering the country. Didn't have any education. Didn't have any skills to get a job particularly. And they had children to provide for. And instead of sitting there watching their children suffer because what they can't do, a lot of them ran away.
Yeah.
And this is something that we're seeing to this very day that's happening with our community. But let's not take this away. There are a lot of fathers out there doing their thing that you don't hear about.
Absolutely. I'm going to take a second to give my dad a shout out. My dad is a Black man. He had me when he was 17 years old and he raised me by himself. He definitely give, a shout out to the Black men out there who are doing what they have to do for, their family and their children and all the single dads. But, it's definitely more, it's something that's, again, it's kind of become ingrained in our DNA because of the type of oppression we had to deal with during slavery. Like there's the man, the woman, and the child, but the man can't do anything to protect the woman from the master.
Right.
He can't do anything to protect his child from being sold away. Vice versa. The woman can't depend on the man to protect her or the child, and it just becomes, it comes down to the fact where the man's like, well, the woman has to kind of wear the pants of both.
Right.
Right. And then the man is like, well, you know what? She's wearing the pants of both, so I don't really have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that type of mentality gets passed down. And then you get the introduction of the welfare system, which, you know, makes it even worse.
Right.
You know, it's like a critical blow to that family dynamic. If the woman needs help financially, well, you can't be in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can't be in the house. And if you are in the house, well, she's not going to get help, but you're having a hard time finding a job, so everybody going hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to put you out the house so she can get the assistance.
Yeah. You know, it's many issues that are facing in the world, and also on the culture show where we want to represent those misrepresented areas, such as the Native American community, such as the Indian community, such as the indigenous Australian community, all the Latino community. All of these cultures have been misrepresented throughout history, through the form of media. And we want to bring the real truth. And Shay and I mentioned that we will be doing a lot of traveling right here on the Culture Show to show you some of the great archaeological things that have happened in these respective areas. Area that we talked about before was Mexico with the Olmec heads. You know, there's so many big debates about the Olmec heads being Africans, or are they Africans? Are they Asians? Are they Native Americans? Are they something? You know, some people have even said they're babies. Some people have said they're aliens. Anything but African people. Ivan Van Sertima, he came up with a book, The African Presence in America. They came before Columbus, and he mentioned a lot about the African presence in America before 1492. There was actually a deep study that he took a dive into with Abu Bakari II, who is the brother of Mansa Musa, who actually, you know, preceded Mansa Musa. And this brother decided to travel to this great land of the West. And he took, I think, a couple hundred ships with him, and he never returned. And in Columbus's second journal, he mentioned that the Native Americans of Hispaniola had told him that Africans had preceded him. And the Native Americans showed Columbus these gold tips, and Columbus did what Columbus always does, is steal stuff. He stole them, and he had them shipped back to Spain and had them assayed and found out that those spears came from Western Mali. There were also many other, Balboa mentioned in his arrival into the Americas that he saw all black tribes, and sometimes even in conflict with some Native American tribes as well, all throughout the United States. And there's stories all over the history of North America of Africans being here far before 1492.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You know, I like to hit everybody with, you know, geography and the way that the ocean currents work and stuff like that. You know, briefly to say this, if you look at the continent of Africa, there are, I believe, 3 major currents that run along the coast of Africa. So one on the west, one on the east, and one on the south.
Mm-hmm.
Currents literally will take you from Africa and circumnavigate the globe. All right. So it will take you along Africa into South America, into North America, into Europe, and then back. Just like on the other side, it'll take you along, Australia and Japan and Asia and
India,
like southern points of India by the ocean. You know, it's not far-fetched to believe that we had already circumnavigated the globe, especially considering that, you know, it has gone on record that and just to mention this because it's more familiar to people, Egypt had an awesome navy.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you think that it's not impossible for them to circumnavigate the globe? Cleopatra had a barge, right? The barge was so grand that it was like a mini city, really. Hundreds of people on board to take her to go see Caesar.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of knowledge that has been hidden from history, that wasn't particularly even understood. They are still studying Egyptian history. Egypt is still being decoded to this very day. And as I mentioned earlier, shout out to Solange Ashby as being the only Black Egyptologist that, and she mentioned on her interview right on IBP Media. So please, if you subscribe, go look at that interview, just the things that she went through as being the only Black Egyptologist. Very interesting stuff that she put up there. And I must say, it's a lot of stuff that I went through as being an African historian and speaking on the African origins of ancient Egypt. And Shay, I even met you through debating with a lot of people saying that I was trying to steal history by claiming Egypt was an African civilization, and proving it. And, it was a lot of debates, years of debates. It was a lot of hate mail. It was a lot of racist comments, but we withstood it, and that actually was a big part of the foundation of the culture show, of speaking the truth, and not just about the diaspora, but also about other misrepresented areas. We had Vishnabi McDonald from India. We also have Rituja Ramtiki, who will be doing a book club right here on IBP Media. She's from India. We have Samantha Jonas Rango, who is half Nigerian, half Native American. We have Sarami Shong, who is Asian American. And, we just have so much diversity. We have Patrick Chiguri, who's in South Africa right now, creating this platform that will change the narrative of how we see the world. You have people who are in Africa who don't know much about what's going on with African Americans. We have people here in America who know nothing about what's going on in South America at all. So right here on the Culture Show, we'll be taking trips to these places to show you these places, to show what the native people are like, to show you the experience, the archaeology, the history, interviews. So if you're looking for interviews to get on the Culture Show, if you're doing entrepreneur work, great entrepreneur work for your community, please feel free to email us at IBP Media Group, and we'll love to have you right here on the Culture Show.
Absolutely. Like you said, it's great that we have this platform where we can show the true diversity. It's something that I personally have not seen from a lot of media outlets, when it's promoting it, whether it's promoting entrepreneurship or if it's promoting sports, history, books, and then on top of that, we have people from all different kinds of backgrounds doing it.
Exactly.
So it's great to be able to come together and show that unification that we keep talking about, where we are all one people.
Exactly. And that's what we really want to show the world. I was a part of an event a week or two ago. I think it was a week. Yeah, it was a week ago, 25th. And it was called Africa Day. And I mean, I tell you, Sister Shay, it was one of the most amazing events to see the Africans all over the diaspora coming together from one common celebration of the beautiful history all over the world, celebrating African music, celebrating African dance, celebrating African history, celebrating African American history, celebrating the Black Brit history, celebrating the Aboriginal Australian history, African history, all over the globe. So to see those things come together, and I would like to, me and Sister Charlotte were talking the other day, and we're talking about actually putting together an event for one race, unity, something that Jane Elliott always talked about. and has been talking about it for over 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we represent right here on IBP Media, showing that diversity will be the wave of the future. So if you are not on the diversity wave, we feel sorry for you, because this is going to be the wave of the future. We see so many interracial relationships happening today. And you just never, you may be racist today, but your grandchild may end up being a black child. So, same thing, vice versa with the black community. You may not get along with, you may feel that you've been oppressed by Caucasians and you feel like, I don't want to mix with them. You never know. Your child, your son may marry a Caucasian woman and she's a part of the family now. We're so mixed together now. To separate now would be a detriment to all of us. Somehow we have to find common ground, and that's what we want to put out there on IBP Media, showing the history of all these people, showing the beauty of all cultures. I'm the guy that loves to taste different foods. I love to taste different foods. My wife loves to eat Indian food. I love my African food. I love my Caribbean food, and I eat her Indian food sometimes. We're diving deep into learning more about Native American culture. We love Chinese food. We just love all the different culture. When you see culture, and when we had our first meeting at IBP and we saw all those different faces and those different cultures, how did that make you feel as being a part of this team?
It was exciting. I was excited. I was proud. I was happy at the fact that we could all come together with a common goal, and we were all just as passionate about it. It was like, it's like a unity day. And the fact that we get to work with all these people and we get to potentially go to their homelands and experience their homelands with them and show everybody made me even more excited. I'm especially excited about India. I keep saying it. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Shout out to our sister Rituja. Shout out to Rituja. I met Rituja. She did a review on my book, and she was just so kind to me, and she absolutely loved it. Now, this is a lady from India, and she loved the African story, and so much so we became friends and we stayed in contact. And now she's be joining us right here on IBP Media. Cousin Brad, welcome up to our panel discussion here. And we're talking about diversity. When you came into the meeting, Cousin Brad, as always, him and Joker is the two clowns of the IBP Media crew. Shay, you a clown too.
Wow.
but
That's funny.
Those are our class clowns of IBP Media. But yeah, Cousin Brad, how did you actually feel? Really, being real, how did you feel when you came into the meeting with IBP Media, seeing all those different cultures, races, different faces, complexions, hair textures, all of those different things?
Well, I mean, honestly, I was very excited when I joined IBP Media. I looked at it as a platform where I can utilize my talent to speak different languages and use different accents and go different places, of where I wanted to be. And when I seen these different people coming from these different backgrounds and these different places, it really opened my eyes to a lot of things, that the world is so much bigger than I thought it was. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think today's launch was really great. Shout out to, your guys' show, The Culture Show. It's a lot of culture in today's world that's being overlooked. So hopefully, your guys' show can highlight the culture that's being overlooked and bring a lot of diversity to a media platform that's completely different than any other platform, pretty much not only on YouTube, but any other media platform to date. So shout out to Joker with his show. I think, he hopefully his underground lounge can bring a lot of diversity and shed some light to a lot of underground artists that will bring diversity to hip hop and other music genres. Shout out to my show, The Fan Cave. I try to keep it fun. I try to keep it, very, very classy. And hopefully my show can bring some diversity to it as well.
Absolutely. I also want to take the opportunity really quick since we were talking about Africa, right? I want to give a big shout out to the African Film Festival. Did you know that the African Film Festival is airing Toussaint Louverture?
What?
Yeah.
His biopic, starring Jimmy Jean Lewis,
Yep.
and I was just like,
Wow.
all right, I'm here for it. So now we're showing people in Africa that this general in Haiti literally led a revolution from 1791 to 1804 and won.
Sure did. Sure did.
Won. I mean, he gained the independence for Haiti from the European colonizer. He didn't show any mercy. That this is what it is. We're going to be free. If you don't like it, we're going to war. He went to war. And he got everybody to unite. And that's the whole point behind IBP Media Group, to unite and come together, because together we're strong.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And when we look at the United States of America, many people will say this is the greatest country in the world because it's the most diverse country. You got all different walks of life right here in this country. And yet we have put such a negative image out there about ourselves, about our police department, about injustice, about our systems that are in place to oppress people. I think this place is an opportunity for people to embrace other cultures, to come together. Particularly the culture that has been suppressed the most, we know, is, of course, African culture, Native American culture as well, right here in America, but even the Asian community. So when we form this alliance together, like Voltron, right? It's powerful.
Voltron. Shout out to Voltron.
Shout out to Voltron. Shout out to Transformers too. It's powerful, and the goal is to really bring the world together with truth, with accurate news, with entertainment, with fun, with knowledge, with truth, with music. We all like to dance. Music has got us through so many things. Many things. And I'm going to go around. I asked Joker and I asked Alicia about some music. Name an artist, Cousin Brad, I'm going to start with you. Name a music artist that saved your life in a very tough time.
Wasn't an artist, it was a group. And if I had to save my life in a tough time when I went through my divorce, I would have to say Earth, Wind, and Fire. Specifically, that is my favorite group of all time. And when I was going through my divorce, firsthand, I would be, me and you would talk constantly about it. But I would listen to them, and they would just bring my day and give me the ability to smile in the mornings when I would get up and go to work, or get up and go get my son, or get up and go anywhere and do anything. Earth, Wind, and Fire's music helped me find my smile back, because I was dealing with depression at the time. So I would have to say Earth, Wind, and Fire, most definitely.
Shay?
That's a hard question.
You can answer more than one. I'm sure there's more than one.
There's thousands. No. Let's see. Definitely Whitney Houston. Feeling the raw emotion that she brings in her music and the power behind it, really helped me to get through a particular point in my life. But I'll even take it a step further and say that there are certain classical musics that have really spoken to me. And even operas. Like, I love Lucia di Lammermoor, The Bride of Lammermoor. I don't know. I feel like for me, music, I can find a way to feel about something in any piece that I hear. It doesn't matter what type of music it is, you know, and we've talked about it before. I listen to everything that you think I probably wouldn't listen to, you know.
Yeah.
But I will say the most heartfelt one for me that I really connect with would be the Spanish music of the slaves. You know, it tells a story. It's like Native American storytelling mixed with African storytelling. You have the drums that signify, you know, war or pain or strength, you know. It's just something about the flow that really connects with me emotionally on any plane.
Yeah, music is definitely life. At this time, I want to take a shout out to the whole IBP team, Samantha Jonas Rongo, Nikki Gutierrez. I want to send a shout out to Sister Charlotte's son. I want to send a shout out to the Joker. I want to send a shout out to Alicia G. I want to send a shout out to Ratuja, Patrick Chiguri. You have a very, very strong team that we're building, a team of unity, a team of diversity, and a team of truth. So thank you guys all for being with us on the official launch party. The official launch party is come to an end. We went 3 hours strong, and you know we're delivering to you every week. 3 shows, and then we're going to be adding on shows. We got Charlotte's Son show coming up in July. We have Ratuja's show, the book club, international reading with Ratuja, that will be coming out in August. We also have Sister Samantha, who's looking to do a show on alkaline health. Health is something that we all need to step our game up. And also I forgot to mention that Sister Charlotte will be doing mental health, something that the Black community has not really talked about for a very long time and has been ignored in the Black community. Mental health. It is something now you will have an opportunity to release this outlet of struggle, of pain, or the time where you felt like you didn't want to live anymore. You can do that right on Charlotte's Son's show as well. Patrick Chiguri, Africa Rising, the Diaspora Awakens. And he's going to be speaking about Africa and the diaspora from the African continent. He's on ground in South Africa right now, Johannesburg, and he will also be a part of IBP Media. He did a fantastic interview with Dr. Bumi of the Sankofa Pan-African podcast, and it was absolutely amazing. I was actually on her podcast. He's doing some amazing work for IBP Media. Shout out to you, Patrick, in South Africa. And hopefully, guys, though we're all in different places, hopefully come out this pandemic thing, we can all meet together somewhere in Africa, somewhere in America, somewhere in India, somewhere in South America, where we can all meet together and show our power working together in the flesh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Make sure y'all mask up.
Mask up. Mask up. I told y'all about Cousin Brad. Make sure y'all subscribe.
Yeah, mask up.
I'm surprised it's not Gambit. What's going on?
Yeah, what happened with Gambit?
Look, we all know that Gambit is the superior X-Men to everyone else. So I mean, you know, he's good. He doesn't need his own movie. So I just accepted it and moved on.
I think we're gonna let Shay. I think we're gonna let Eric Leewald tell that story when we release his interview. We had Eric Leewald, the creator of the X-Men series, joined us on the Culture Show. We will be releasing that interview sometime in August, so look out for that. Very interesting interview, Shay. Even part. I was watching the interview the other day where Eric teared up a little bit. You know.
Yeah. He got very emotional, but you know what? He also gave some behind the scenes jewels that nobody else knows.
Yeah.
We got the scoop.
Yeah, we got the scoop.
Like, share, subscribe to get it. You have to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I told you at the beginning, you will turn into a superhero if you do it. Not really physically. You won't
just don't turn into
superhero physically, but you'll be helping out an up and coming YouTube channel. So you're a superhero to us.
Yes, absolutely.
Make sure y'all like, subscribe, follow, all of that good stuff. Hit that bell. Join IBP Media. If you're interested in being a part of the IBP Media team, hit me up at ibpmediagroup@gmail.com. I do respond every day to different emails. We also have an interview. Shay, I'm going to let you announce the interview that you booked for us that's going to be coming up in a few weeks.
All right, everyone. So if you grew up in the 2000s, you was a teenager or, around 10 or whatever, then you know about the person that we're going to be interviewing. I don't know if you got, I don't know, Brad, do you remember this song, Tell Me, by Smile Southside?
Love, hate, heartbreak. Tell me what you think is going on.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on? Like that wasn't the jam of the week and that was on my playlist. Like I didn't have that.
That was on everybody's jam. That was in that. How long was it on BT Top 10?
It was on 106 and Bark faithfully.
Yeah, it really was for a while. But
people don't even realize them dudes was really fire, and they was secretly writing for people too. Y'all don't even know about that.
Mm-hmm. They were absolutely fire, and we have an interview coming up on June 23rd with none other than Smiles of South Siren Smiles. So it's going to be so much fun to be able to interview him about, his rise in the industry and what he's been up to. Because, they've been kind of low key if you don't follow them on Instagram.
Right.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. And we'll be talking about some untold stories. We're going to be getting deep on IBP Media. We got a lot of interviews coming up soon that will be announced as they come out. So make sure you are subscribed so you can see it. Also, make sure you follow us on the Facebook page. We IBP Media. Follow us on Twitter, IBP Media Group. Also on Instagram, IBP Media Group. IBP everything, So make sure you follow us, subscribe to the channel to get all the newest updates. We are here to change and diversify the narrative. I want to send a shout out to everybody that was watching today. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to the team. Thank you to our fans. Thank you to our followers. Thank you to the people who are on Blog Talk, who are tuned in today. Thank you guys all for being here. We are back. So
we did it, guys.
We're back and better than ever.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. All 7,000 of you that was with us on Blog Talk, come on over to the YouTube channel and subscribe and be a part of this new wave that we built today. I want to thank my co-hosts. Shay, I want to thank my other co-host, and I'm his co-host, cousin Brad. And I love you guys, man. Thank you guys. I appreciate the whole team.
Pinkies up because we're classy.
What are you, Dr. Evil now?
No. Pinkies up because we're classy.
I'm Mr. Bigglesworth.
We are the whole new wave. As the Joker would say, we are the whole new wave.
What?
And the price is going up. What?
Yeah.
All right. One love to everybody. Thank you, man. Salute to y'all. We love you. Make sure you subscribe to IBP Media. One love. We out.
Bang.